Welcome to the show. I'm Michael Buckets,
I'm Old King Cole.
And I'm Twono 23.
and this is Ball Talk. All right, welcome back. So, a lot of big trades went on, so we're getting excited to get into those.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
New format. We're on the Zoom this week. We got Twono from Chicago tuning in. He's going to be on the show as much as he can, and we're excited about that.
Yeah, hopefully
So
a
today,
full-time member one day.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. That's the plan. That's the plan, bro.
Yes, sir.
So today we're going to talk about the trade craziness that's been going on. A couple big trades over the weekend. We're also going to talk about some more trades that we might want to see happen, or we might hear rumors of happening. And we're going to get into some all-star snubs after all the reserves have been announced. And now we kind of had our opinion of who we thought should be there. We're going to share that with you. So yeah, right away, what are your guys' initial reactions to Luka being a Los Angeles Laker?
That's it. That's it. That's it, dude. Like what? Like I was saying to you guys like earlier before the pod, like I was literally sitting here looking at my phone like is this
Yeah,
real? Like I had to make sure I wasn't getting butt cracked or whatever the heck all these freaking different fake
right.
Twitters are that are always out there just trying to get us right now. And I was just trying to make sure that it was real. I had to check Sham's Twitter and make sure that it had all the followers that he has and that it had all the recent posts that he has. And I was like, man, this is real. And that was really it. I just didn't believe it. I feel like nobody believed it, right?
Yeah, bro. I was
Yeah.
about to go to bed. I like just took my glasses off, and then Antoine texted me Luka to the Lakers, and I was like, "Let me pick my glasses back up real quick." And yeah, that was. I did not see that coming. Completely out of left field.
It's one of those moments that's like, where were you when you got that notification?
Literally,
Literally, bro.
Message? Like, that was like, that's probably like single-handedly one of the craziest trades to ever happen. Like,
No
probably
doubt.
not the craziest, but that's probably top 10, maybe top
it
15.
might be the craziest trade to ever happen.
I
I
was
think
gonna
it
say
might
in
be
our
the craziest
lifetime.
move. Yeah, in our lifetime for sure. I think it might be the craziest move since Kareem to the Lakers, and that was a free agency move.
Yeah, yeah, that's huge.
Cause like,
Just
dude,
because
they just made it to the finals.
exactly,
Literally,
exactly. And that's why I compare it to Kareem because he's just coming off like a championship with the Bucks, and then he's like, I'm gonna go to the Lakers now. And
Yeah,
so it's kind of like, but Luka, I mean, he was happy. I think he was comfortable in trying
yeah.
to bring the Mavs a championship. Um, no, I
And
still thought
actually,
they were a contender. Although the missing defense, there is truth to that. We obviously saw that. Um, and there's a lot of defensive teams that they might have to go up against. Not only the Celtics if they see them again, but teams in the West now have that Celtics defense depth that I don't think the Mavs would be able to handle had they
yeah.
not traded for Anthony Davis.
I saw on like social media how they were saying like the GM of the Mavs was saying that he had questions about Luca's conditioning schedule and like in his looming supermax contract. But it's like if anybody's worth 300 million, it's
Yeah,
Luca. Like what
yeah,
Luca brings, the Luca magic, the crazy shots he did since he came in the league, he's been a force to like be reckoned with. So it's like giving him up for like low key kind of crackerjack. Like no disrespect to Anthony Davis, but like you're going to give up somebody that's like still becoming a superstar and is already a superstar that has not reached his peak potential for like somebody that's kind of on his downward spiral. AD is still great, but he is definitely on that downward. There's no more up for him. You know,
no
it's
doubt.
he's
Yeah,
already he's already hit his ceiling. So it's like trading like perennial superstar for like of that, you know, that of that magnitude is just like I think that's gonna come back to bite bro in his butt sooner or later for sure.
yeah. I definitely hear you there. You gotta also think this is the same guy that fumbled Steph Curry signing with Nike. So this guy don't know how to make deals
You talking about
whatsoever.
Seth Curry? You talking about Seth
yeah, bro. He
Curry?
called him Seth Curry. He showed
Like,
him a video that was made for Kevin Durant. Bro's
yes.
captain football.
I think bro is secretly working with other. He might be a spy because that's how a real spy is. Like he pushed that man to Under Armour, and then he just gave Luca to the Lakers. Like they must have told him, like, we'll get you $700 million trade. You
Bro, for
give us
That's
me,
wild.
the more that I think about the trade, it makes more sense than it did at first, but only if you break it up into immediate positives and negatives and long-term positives and negatives. Because when you look at the immediate of it, I mean, the Mavs right now are a really good team.
Yeah, they do look
And
really good. I can't
they're
lie.
complete. Like I was talking about those other teams, like the Celtics or the Thunders. The Mavs are complete now. They are a full team that should be able to compete for a championship. But obviously, that's an immediate positive because the immediate negatives are you're losing Luka, a 25-year-old superstar, and you're kind of throwing away your future, which he's kind of said he doesn't feel like he's throwing away his future. He feels like the future is more short term than people are talking, I guess. He's in a more of a win now scenario. And with that mindset, I kind of get it. Like I've kind of put myself in dude's shoes, sitting there like, man, we really need a defensive big man on our team. And looking at all the guard options I have and eventually realizing, you know what? I should trade the best guard I have for a good big man and just keep these other guards. Not saying I would have done it. Absolutely. But
No,
I'm just trying to like
I hear you.
understand what his mindset was.
Yeah.
And especially when you find out he did first reach out to the Bucks and tried to get Giannis. And that
Crazy
that
talk.
makes a lot of sense for the Mavs because now Giannis is the best player on the team and I don't know. It makes more sense than Anthony Davis. I see how Anthony Davis was the second option to Giannis. And then you look at the immediate positives and negatives for the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers look empty. You know, talking about building a team with depth. They just got 2 superstars, basically, and LeBron's obviously aging.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm spending a lot of time on this. But to switch up to long term, the Lakers have Luka for a while.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely got to give the big cap nod to the cap with Rob Pelinka there, just being able to switch over from the LeBron era to a new era completely over and being able to actually give the Lakers fans hope after kind of seeing how the start of the season was going and being like, is the end of LeBron's career really it for the Lakers for the next year or so? And then we just got to go back into rebuild mode where we don't really have much again. And it's like, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. Everybody saw the end of Kobe and all that. It was fun. It was fun. You know what I mean? They were bad and Kobe got to throw up all those shots and he got 60 in his last game and it was super great. Everybody loved it. You know, it was iconic, but I don't think Lakers fans want that anymore. I think they want consistent chips because that's the league nowadays, is to try and create a dynasty over and over and over and keep going, especially after what the Warriors did. Like they kind of brought that dynasty word back into the NBA again and made it like really craveable. Every team wants to be a dynasty now. Every team wants to not only win 1, but win 2, then 3, and maybe even 4
when you win one, it's kind of like, okay, so they won.
Right. No, yeah.
I think the goal is to three-peat because the Bulls three-peat.
Right.
I think everybody's goal is to like, I think if teams got a three-peat, they would be happy. Like we're good for the next 10 years. Like as long as we three-peat ourselves for history and be like we won 3 times back to back to back to back, it's like that's
especially
like the goal.
Like growing up in the Midwest, I feel like the three-peat is so iconic that everybody wants to three-peat in anything they do.
Yeah.
Like that is the goal. Like you get a turkey in bowling, like that's the goal.
That's it.
3 times. I mean, like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna root for Patrick Mahomes because I love the three-peat. I love the three-peat that much. I want to see it.
He ain't liking that one. He ain't liking
that
one.
I don't have a problem with Patrick Mahomes. I don't have a problem with Patty at all. But it'd be great. But I would love to see Saquon to get his though. I'm gonna just say that.
Oh yeah, Saquon got to get his. That's all I'm gonna say about that too.
But a three-peat,
I don't even know about
the first to ever.
So
the first to ever three-peat though.
No, the Packers three-peated twice, bro.
You said what?
The Packers three-peated twice.
Way back in like the titles days, are you talking about? Maybe before the Super Bowl.
I just saw something. I don't know enough to know. I could look if you want.
Yeah, I thought this was probably the first ever.
Yeah, you
Maybe
can
not.
definitely fact check that. While I say what I was just saying earlier is basically just big nod of the cap to Rob Pelinka for like actually giving Lakers fans some hope for the next 5 to however many years. Like we were saying earlier, Luka seems like the type of guy that might love LA and love being in the limelight and actually being in there. Whoa, that was scary. And actually being there. So I think he might actually retire as a Laker if everything goes well and Rob Pelinka can help build a
Right.
team around him and whatnot. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't. Everybody seems to love LA. I mean, that's why LeBron came. That's why Kobe stayed for so long. That's why so many other guys have tried to come back. Even like D'Lo, when he came back, he was so happy to be back and then sad to get traded away. I mean, I'm sure happy in Brooklyn again because he was playing there before. But either way, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, RIP to that guy, huh? He's just been going through the ringer.
Back to back, like one of the same teams twice in the same like fashion is like
That's
crazy.
tough work. That's tough
He
work,
got traded from the Lakers to the Nets again.
man. Again,
Yeah.
Again, bro.
Yeah.
by different
Again.
management.
Literally. Like
Bro, and
two
then
different years.
the first game they played against the Lakers, he missed the game-winning shot, and I saw all over Twitter they were like, "Dang, D'Angelo Russell just won the game for the Lakers." That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
rough.
that's lit.
But no, I did some
So
fact checking. There were title three-peats. The first one was 1929 to 31. The second one though was 65 to 67. So they won three in a row right before the first Super Bowl.
That's what I thought it
okay.
was. And then they won the first
Yeah,
Super Bowl, right?
yeah.
I think they won the first one because they called
Yeah.
it a Lombardi Trophy.
Right, because I'm pretty sure that's why it's like the Lombardi, because he was like just dominating like prior to the Super Bowl era and then won the first one. So they were like, yeah, bro's the
The
GOAT.
post I must have been a Packers fan being like, "Nah, this
Yeah,
isn't the first
that's why I
one."
was like, Bears fan knows how to hate.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure like the commentator said like the first three-peat in the Super Bowl era is probably what they say because you got to be specific.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
It wouldn't be
But
the first one in like the
in
NFL. It'd be
football
the first.
history, yeah,
Yeah, it'd be the first in Super Bowl history type shit.
yeah.
so back to my original point, not knowing a bunch about football or the individual players, I want the three-peat, bro. I want that first ever Super Bowl three-peat.
I'm happy for you, and I'm happy that you're gonna be. It's gonna be fun to kind of root for different teams, but brother,
I'm just being quiet because like I'm not going to discredit you. Like I can't say no, bro. That's why I'm just like that's very valid.
no,
That's very.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it'd
I'm
be
only going to say
dope. I
Quan.
love I hear you on all the points. I love
Yeah,
Mahomes. He's dope. He's arguably the second best QB to Tom Brady already, and he hasn't even experienced all of his career. So like, that's
yeah.
crazy.
And honestly, that's all I know about football.
Even
So
30?
Hmm?
Is he even 30 yet?
I don't even know. I can fact check that real quick, but I don't even know. But yeah, dude,
But yeah,
like crazy.
I won't say Quantum just because he was disrespected by the Giants
29.
organization. Exactly, like he didn't even hit 30 yet. It's like, but yeah, Saquon was like disrespected by the Giants. You know, they didn't want him. They didn't want like he wanted to stay in New York, but he wanted the money. Like he was like, if I'm going to lose with y'all, at least make it worth my while. And they was like, no, you're going to lose with us and take little to no money. And he went to a situation that was a good situation for him, and it's like showing the
First year
Giants like, hey,
first year with the Eagles arguably like brought the MVP conversation back to the running back cuz like a lot of people
yeah,
never considered the running back
he
as an
won it.
MVP. Wait, he won MVP?
Yeah, I said it yesterday. He won the MVP.
No shit, bro. That's crazy. He got to be the first art running back to win MVP since like whoever, like some crazy name because like
Yeah, he won MVP. So it's like
exactly.
first year with the team, you brought him MVP and got
And
him to the Super Bowl
yeah,
too.
that's
Like
crazy.
man, that's like huge.
Plus he got the cross right here with the eye black. That shit hard as fuck.
Oh
He
yeah, it's like how can you not root for that guy who was disrespected? But then it's like yeah, and I'm like the Chiefs already got like
but they don't got the three-peat.
they
Yeah,
don't have the three-peat. That would be huge.
that I can hear
I'm
you on.
gonna be happy either way. Like it's a win-win situation for sure. It's just like neither of those my team. I'm waiting for those Bears to be in the Super Bowl next year. I called it first.
Also, you know what I've noticed a lot in sports is that people love to hate the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the moment. But then once they're gone, they love to talk about how legendary they were and how special they were. But like when Tom Brady was winning Super Bowls, people hated him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely hated Tom Brady and the Patriots, and they were like the enemy of America.
That's
And
why
I
I keep
just
trying to remind people that are definitely like that we normally talk sports with, like outside of this, that like sure you might not want the Chiefs to win, but don't like hate Patrick Mahomes because exactly what you said. You're gonna look back and be like, man, Patrick Mahomes really like because who knows? He might end up being the best quarterback we've ever seen in history ever. Like I said, he's
Yeah.
right,
already arguably number 2 all time, and he's 29.
Yeah.
right.
Like Brady played
On
till
his
he was like 45. He's still got like half his career left if he played till Brady. And he's
literally.
like mobile. He can just like start to learn to be a pocket passer later in his career. Like, bro.
And I think that's a big reason why, because this is the first season I really kind of got into football, and I barely even like skimmed the water, anyways. But like that's kind of why I was like, dang,
I hear
I'm
you
gonna
though. It's fun to
get
root for
Patrick
the winners when
Mahomes
you're like new to a
because
sport for sure.
yeah, yeah, and like we've been saying, Patrick Mahomes could very well go down in history as the greatest or one of the greatest to ever do it, and I want to be able to say I was on his side when that happened.
Yeah. I
But
think now you go.
the Taylor Swift thing, man, with me really
Yeah.
breaks.
That is what pushed me away. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want to rank on it. I don't have a problem with her, but it was just like it'd be like Travis Kelsey doing nothing and they showing her. Why is she on the screen? He did nothing. He like I understand she's here to support, but like there's other
Oh,
people's family here too. Like show other
I
people's family.
understand that much of it too, and that's what really gets to me is I'm like, dang, people really love Travis Kelsey, and from like what you guys have told me, he's a really good tight end. But
Yeah.
Not as much
it's
this
like,
year, but like yeah, throughout his whole entire career, yeah. But
Statistics like
at this
yeah.
point, he's like literally mid 30. Like he's old. He's expected to kind
Yeah.
of start
but
dipping
I
off.
just
Unfortunately.
don't think he should be overshadowing Patrick Mahomes because he's dating Taylor Swift. That really bothers me
Yeah,
because
I
it's
agree. Like show
yeah,
Brittany Mahomes.
Honestly, don't. But I hear you.
they do though.
My
Like
fault.
Mahomes and
I
Taylor Swift
mean,
together.
I was gonna make this last point about the football and hating thing. I think what people hate the winners. I think it's just a testament to how much hate is in the world. It's like how can you hate people when they're doing their best and being the best that they can be? I think that just shows just like the human trait of like how we just naturally just hate on people. It's like humans just hate to see other humans thriving because like why hate on somebody that's like doing the best that they are? Like this is
yeah.
the sport that they like thrive in and they thrive the best this year and they took it all away and they won. Who are we to like be like, he sucks? It's like he just won the Super Bowl, no. Sometimes it's pretty rigged, but it's just like, dang. That's just a thought that just came to my
That's the
mind with
only
it.
thing I've been hearing so much about like a lot of the Chiefs games is a lot of people have been saying that they've been called a little in the Chiefs direction. I honestly I've been so stuck up with like content and NBA and stuff like that that I haven't really been like watching the games that intensely. I've just been like seeing highlights and stuff, and obviously they're not going to show every penalty in the highlights because that
Yeah.
shit would be boring as hell. But
Right.
yeah,
No,
I
yeah,
don't know.
I heard that too, and I did kind of notice it. There's also
Me too.
a lot of the
Okay.
games they won were not very high scoring games. I noticed, which I just thought was interesting that when you play the Chiefs, you don't score as much, which could be accredited to defense on either side. But it's also just interesting that every time the Chiefs play, they don't need to score over 20 to win the game.
The Chiefs do
Yeah.
have a good defense. They have always, and that's honestly nod the cap to Andy Reid. He's just a great coach. He's
Okay.
amazing. Like Andy Reid is one of those guys who has a great scheme offensively and defensively. Like he's been with the Chiefs for like probably dang near our whole entire lives. Like he's a guy.
Yeah, I think what's it called? I think Andy's probably like one of the best coaches of all time. Just like pure coach.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that man, he's great. He's a great big guy.
but
He should get all the burgers he want after the Super Bowl.
yeah, like kind of what I was saying with the penalties, like what you were saying earlier, Michael. It kind of just feels like the whole conversation of like the Tom Brady thing of like everybody's just hating on it. Like anybody's just picking apples off a tree, just finding any reason to hate on the Chiefs when they're going to look back and be like, dang, this was actually one of the best well-rounded teams of all time. I mean, from coaching to the quarterback to Travis Kelce playing well in his mid 30s to them picking random wide receivers out of a hat and making them look amazing ever since Tyreek left. Because if we're being honest, they haven't had like an amazing every year Pro Bowler receiver like since Tyreek Hill left the team. So Patrick Mahomes, that's just all credit to Patrick Mahomes. The offensive line's been good every year. Their defense really good. Like Chris Jones, anytime that he's actually playing, is just arguably the best D lineman in the league. And then their secondary is always playing well. Like they definitely are going to be looked back upon like the Patriots or something like that, where it's like, dang, like this is one of the best teams ever.
And we even saw it with like the Celtics and Jason Tatum too. Like they just won a championship. I think they're probably one of the like top 10 teams ever to win a championship. They were a good team.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And still like we've even fallen into the NBA's like, you want some Jason Tatum? And we're like, yeah, I'm good. Even though that's kind of the same thing. We really should be appreciating Jason Tatum more.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to trade talk.
little
Little
NFL talk there for a second.
Yeah.
You know?
Little NFL segment.
Yeah, ain't no worries.
No problems.
So we got that
so
Kings 3-team trade. You said you wrote that down, Twono? Yeah, you're gonna have to
Yes,
read that
sir.
one off because that one's a handful.
That Kings 3-team trade, the Spurs received De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. The Kings received Zach Lavine and City Cisco. I'm probably butchering his name. And then they got 3 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. And then the Bulls received Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and the Bulls received their first-round 2025 pick back from the Spurs. So that was a crazy trade. I'm gonna just say I don't think the Kings trade was just like I don't think the Kings trade got anything crazy. I don't feel like Zach Levine like really changes it up. In my opinion, that might be a downgrade personally. In my opinion, just because like De'Aaron Fox just dropped 60. Like you gave us somebody who just dropped 60. Like he might be in slump right now, but like give that man the time to like get his mind together. Like him and Sabonis, I feel like are the cornerstones of that team. So to like break up that cornerstone for a guy that hasn't been producing for his own team lately, I thought was kind of crazy personally.
I wonder how Zach Levine and DeMar DeRozan are gonna play together. That's gonna be interesting, hey?
A new system, new coach. You know, I feel like the Kings. I think.
Never seen that before.
Yeah, I think the Kings kind of blew up their whole.
I mean, they got a lot of picks. They got a good bag back for De'Aaron
the Kings
Fox.
are in a really interesting spot now because they built kind of a team that's like could be
a contender,
conference finals at best. I think I don't know, but they also got a lot of picks. They got 3 first-round picks in the next 6 years. So like,
and a couple seconds. Those second-round picks, like they don't seem like much when you get them, but man, those are the guys that turn into Jokic's or Giannis's and stuff like that out of nowhere. Like you just gotta have a good draft board.
They could keep blowing it up and getting more picks and building through draft, but they also have like a lot of trade stock now with these picks too.
Yeah,
so they could really like end up turning Zach Levine and DeMar DeRozan around.
I guess I never thought about that. This offseason for the Kings is going to be quite interesting. Like the potential of them just trading a lot to get a lot back. And who knows if they're going to like signs. Like what's Zach doing this offseason? Is Zach staying in Sacramento?
Him and DeMar have a pretty good relationship. So I'm sure that'll be
I will say I am excited to see them play in a different situation because I was excited for them to play together on the Bulls and then it didn't work out. And so you hope that it was just because of the Bulls. Sorry, Bulls fans. But now it's a new situation. They got Sabonis. So you're like, maybe it could work out this time. And I wouldn't bet on it because we already saw them in Chicago not work out. But it is cool to see new situations so that you can see, was it their fault or was it Chicago's organization's fault?
I think it definitely could look better than what it did in Chicago. Not like number one in the West, because number one in the East is a lot different than number one in the West, we got to remember. So
Right.
I don't think it's going to catapult them up, but I think there's potential that it does look like how the Bulls did in their, I guess we'll say, prime recent days with that system.
Yeah.
Because we got to remember they had Vooch as a big man, and now they got Sabonis, who is a much bigger upgrade than Vucevic. No hate to Vuce. I mean, he's been playing.
The bonus is just that guy.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
Sabonis is
Sabonis.
just another level. So
Yeah.
them playing
28
with him is going to be amazing. Especially with the way that he actually facilitates the floor. It's going to be crazy to see how they can play off ball around him and whatnot, because we know that those guys actually are good at moving around off ball, and Sabonis can find the opening in the defense. So we'll have to see how that works out. I'm not, like you said, I'm not saying that it's going to do amazing or that it's going to just catapult them into some contender. I'm not picking
Yeah.
them as my finals team now all of a sudden. But
Yeah.
one thing I will say about this trade that's got me just torn up, I was saying this to you last night, Michael, when we were on Marvel. Man, I'm beat up. I am beat up as a Bulls fan. This hurts. It was inevitable, but we really gave up now. Like, DeRozan's gone, Zach's gone, Vooch is next. Hopefully, God, I hope we don't just keep Vooch for no reason. I mean, he loves it in Chicago, but God damn it, he's a big contract. We don't need him. But man, it's gonna be a tough couple years because our front office has not shown any sign of genius, I should say. Like, it doesn't seem like we're gonna make some like stunning picks now because we have our first round pick back. Like, just because we have our first round pick back and it's okay that we tank and we get like a high pick, that doesn't mean anything. We're gonna pick I'm not gonna even say names and throw disrespect out there, but we're just gonna pick like something that ain't gonna work for us, and
Yeah.
it's we're gonna pick some project, and it's gonna be
Picked
like,
another Patrick Williams.
you know what
I'll
I'm
say.
saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
We can afford that.
Like,
I think I said this yesterday to people that I was hanging out with. We gave up Zach Lavine for Cracker Jack.
for Cracker Jack, like
No disrespect,
Cracker Jack.
No, and I mean,
he's a decent big.
Kevin Herter will be he'll be a splash.
Shooter. He's a shooter. But we have
So
gave him a
many
superstar.
guards.
We gave up superstar power. Like, we didn't get like not even a lick. Like, they could at least gave us a decline in superstar.
Something.
Like, they didn't give us no superstar whatsoever.
And all we got was our pick back.
Zach Lavine, though. Like, think about how long they've been trying to trade Zach Lavine. This is probably the best they could get because
For like 3 years.
They probably talked to every single team at this point, and we're like, "What will you give us for Zach Lavine?" And this had to be the best they could get because I was really reflecting on it because there was a time when like Zach Lavine getting traded was the number one thing leading up to the trade deadline, and it was like I was checking my phone like I am right now for Jimmy Butler, like seeing if Zach Lavine.
I'm waiting on that one.
I'm literally
this
still
Luka
checking,
trade happened, and it really overshadowed this trade because then Zach Lavine finally got traded, and I was just like, "Oh, nice, about time," and then moved on with my day. And yeah, it's really like it kind of sucks because if they could have pulled off the trade when they first wanted to trade him, they could have got so much back. But I think the more time that loomed over it, the asking price got lower and lower until this point. It's like a dude on Facebook Marketplace, like just come take this.
That's why I'm like, dude, like it's gonna be a tough couple years as a Bulls fan. Like I am beat up. Like we got, like you say, Twono, we got Cracker Jack for Zach Lavine, a 30-point per game scorer, a guy that still has bounce out the roof athleticism and can bang. Like this guy is a complete offensive player at this point. He has formed his game to be able to do any, like you pick any spot on the floor, he can hit or jump over you. And it's like, man, and he's even been showing more improvements on the defensive side as of lately. Like he's been able to like kind of find those lanes and pick off passes and just have more active hands when he's playing on ball. And that's something you love to see from a guard, of course. And it's just like we got our own first round pick, and like you guys were saying, just crackerjack. Like, we got Kevin Herter, a splash, but like, if anything, we should have got a big man. Like, the main piece that we should have
Yeah.
got back was a big man. We have
For sure.
no size. We've had no size for years. We were playing Javonte Green at power forward for what, like 3 years? Like, what
Man's
are we
like
doing?
5'9".
The man, like, what are we doing? Like, just because he's got a 48-inch vertical at 5'9" doesn't mean that he should play power forward, Chicago. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but it shouldn't take some random podcaster to be able to say that for y'all to like understand
like,
that. Like,
even a blind man see. You know?
like, man, it hurts. It's gonna be a rough couple years as a Bulls fan, and we didn't really get stuff back that's actually gonna help us in the future or really do anything great. I mean, I don't think we're gonna do anything amazing with this 2025 pick. It's not like we're gonna get Cooper or anything like that. Like, we're not the Wizards or the Pelicans. We're not at the bottom. So I don't even know. I just don't know.
I like how we left the best part of the trade for the last.
I was just gonna say, so let's
We
talk
did,
about
though.
the Spurs.
Drop the W's in the,
Because
W's in the
Spurs
chat.
are scared.
It's
Dang.
scary hours over there. in San
De'Aaron Fox
Antonio.
to the Spurs. So you got the superstar duo of De'Aaron Fox, maybe not superstar, all-star duo
You can
of
say it.
De'Aaron Fox and
You can say
Wemby.
it.
I mean, Wemby's a
That
superstar.
got 60. De'Aaron dropped 60.
All right, superstar duo in San Antonio. Plus, you got Stephon Castle and Devin Vassell. They are pretty guard heavy, but you kind of ignore that because they have Wemby. You know,
Yeah, he's too big man himself.
right?
Like he
Honestly.
get enough blocks. He play
And
enough.
Sohan's pretty
I was
good.
about to say Sohan is so good. He has really like changed
Right.
his game into actually being able to play offense really well and still being that like Rodman type player on defense. I love Sohan for real.
Yeah, he's really learned how to play really good right next to Wemby.
Like, if we could have
So
pulled
they're
him,
becoming a really good front court duo. Yeah, that would have been nice. Not gonna lie.
Also, Chris Paul being out there dropping the knowledge on the youth. You know,
Right.
hopefully,
That's a big
hopefully they
piece.
receive well too. You know,
I will say, because I said this in a podcast before when we talked about De'Aaron Fox going to the Spurs potentially, that it is kind of sad because Chris Paul went to the Spurs to be a starter. Like, that was last offseason. He wanted to be a starter. And so when he kind of figured out where he was going to go in free agency, it was dependent on if he was going to be a starter. And obviously, we're not going to see him starting. I mean, maybe we will. We've seen 2 point guards work it out, and one of them plays shooting guard before. But so
It
that
might
is a
be-
disappointment. But it's also not that big of a disappointment because we know Chris Paul's aging. He might leave. He might retire. We know De'Aaron Fox is young, so it's exciting for that reason. I'm interested to see if Chris Paul is going to retire a Spur or if he's going to move again and go spread some knowledge somewhere else.
yeah, predictions on that. Tell me what y'all think about that, because I'm chopping that up in my head. That's interesting. I don't see CP as a guy trying to go anywhere to retire. He's kind of been a lot of places in his career that he might just retire wherever he is, almost like Paul Pierce retiring with the Wizards,
Right.
just because.
And I think he's almost become like he
It'd be
almost
nice to see him
loves
retire
go
as a
to a
Clipper,
team
though.
and mentor young guys and make that team better and then leave them and let them do their thing. I mean, like, think about the Thunder.
Oh my
He
gosh,
went there
yeah.
for a year, popped off, mentored Shai. Now the Thunder are one of the best teams in the league, and he's been on like 3 or 4 teams since then.
Yep.
I think he mentored Shai twice. I think he mentored Shai on the Clippers and on the Thunder.
That's
I
a
think.
good point, bro. That's a good point. That might be true.
I
When
think
did
he-
Shai get drafted?
I think he
I
might have
think
been
so.
in Houston when
That's
Shai
what
got
I'm wondering.
drafted.
Okay. I was unsure about the timeline because I just saw
Because
that
I think
this morning.
Shai got drafted in like 2019, and I think that would have been the same year that CP missed that 3-pointer and they didn't beat the
It was
Warriors.
2018.
2018? Okay, I think
2018 draft.
check that then.
Was it-
Where was CP?
Was there any overlap?
Yeah, where was CP? Because 2018, he was either with Houston or he was with the Clippers.
That might have been his last year on the Clippers.
That's why I was like, ooh.
All right.
That would be
looking at
Imagine if that was
basketball-
his rook.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Full circle
The-
moment.
I just saw a video where he was talking about how Shai used to come to his house a lot when he was in Oklahoma. So it's
Oklahoma,
like
yeah.
they have
Oh,
someone.
no. He just moved. Well,
Just went to Houston.
drafted
Same year.
in- Yeah. No, he moved in 2017, so he'd been gone.
Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too, because 2019 felt like that was the last year that he was in Houston. Because Houston
Yeah.
and CP wasn't like a super long thing. They moved on to Westbrook right after. Or was Westbrook right before? I don't even remember now.
Westbrook was after. I think.
That's what I think, but
I think Westbrook was during COVID. So like
you're right, yeah,
2019.
because the clip of him like hitting that three and talking shit to the babies and the moms and
Yeah,
shit.
they were like,
He's like, fuck out of here and shit like that. He's like hitting the
fuck
three
off,
on his
motherfucker, I
yeah,
do this.
yeah.
That's your wife you're talking to.
Yeah, you're talking
She
shit to
knows.
your kids.
Like, what? Only people there is your son, bro.
You got baby Russ Jr. out there.
Literally.
But yeah, I'm excited for that new look Spurs. Should be interesting over the
Oh my
next few
gosh,
years.
yeah, the pairing of De'Aaron Fox and Wembanyama. I don't think I've talked much about it yet today, but like, man, that is gonna be amazing. Like we were saying last pod, seeing Wembanyama play with CP so far this year and learn the pick and roll and like learning where to pick his spots and this, that, and the other. You can tell CP is showing Wembanyama how to be a really good big man because he's played with the likes of Blake Griffin and even made DeAndre Jordan an all-star and made him look like
Right.
he was an amazing center when, no hate to DeAndre Jordan, but for the rest of his career after CP, where did DJ go? I mean, literally, where did DJ
Oh
go?
yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
nobody really
the
knows.
best part of his career
And
was when Chris Paul was facilitating.
Yeah, it was Lob City. So, I mean,
he went to Denver.
he did go to Denver. Did he win a chip with Denver too? He did, because
Yeah.
there's that clip of him holding it with the goggles on his head and shit.
Yeah.
Yo, okay, yo, I remember that now. On some K
He,
Perk
he
shit.
ain't do nothing. He ain't do nothing.
I was about
though,
to say on some K Perk shit. No offense,
Bro,
but
he loves to be around though. He was on that Nets team with KD and he didn't do nothing either. He was
yeah,
just
you
there.
know he's good vibes. Like DJ
He is.
seems
He's
like
good
he's
vibes
good
for
locker
sure.
room guy for sure.
Yeah, yeah. He seems like a
I feel
great
like,
energy.
especially
Yeah.
now, because guys in the league, like when they were younger, watched that Lob City Clippers era. So they'll be like, dang, I got DeAndre Jordan on my team.
For
Like,
real.
that's just a morality boost.
No doubt. But yeah, seeing the upgrade at point guard position, no hate to CP. I love him to death, arguably like one of my favorite point guards of all time, just being CP, but um the upgrade from CP to De'Aaron Fox is going to be absolutely crazy. The pick and roll with them, especially with De'Aaron Fox already playing the pick and roll so much with Sabonis, upgrading from Sabonis, no hate to Sabonis, but Wemby in his second year and he's better than Sabonis. I love Sabonis, but that's my take of the day. Wemby is like a top 10 player right now, second year in the league. Like he is
Yeah, Wemby's for sure
phenomenal.
better than Sabonis. He can do everything Sabonis can do and also block the ball more efficiently and shoot the three more
I was
efficiently.
gonna say, yeah, and that three ball, dude, like he be hitting step backs, he dribbles crazy. Like what can this 7'5" alien not do? Like tell me right now.
Run faster than Giannis.
All right, you got me. You got me. He probably can't bench more than Giannis too. Now that we're thinking about it, athletically, yeah, he's not like
Yeah,
the most athletic.
I'm just trolling. Y'all said name something.
Hey,
I
you gotta
tried
be
to
the devil's advocate. We can't just be here fucking
I had to find
glazing,
something.
buddy.
I had to find something to balance out the table.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But
No,
yeah,
yeah.
No,
I
that's
do
gonna be
think though
crazy.
Wemby can learn from Giannis. Like if Wemby looks at Giannis's career and kind of takes some of the similar steps,
his
bulks
diet
up.
and everything.
I was about to say if
Like,
he gets that muscle like growth like Giannis did throughout
there's a
his
lot
career.
that Wemby can learn from Giannis's game.
Yeah, for sure. I think I think they pick and roll is gonna be daily, just like how fast De'Aaron Fox is. So if he come off the pick and like depending on the defense and what if they game planning for Wemby that game, they're gonna go under the screen and probably stick more to Wemby, which can make Swiper be able to get at least a bucket or draw somebody else's defender so he can get a corner three, or he gonna be able to go straight past him and then they're gonna get on Swiper and then he can lob it to Wemby. It's like if I'm a coach, that's the type of thing I'm trying to draw up.
That's
It's
that
like
bread
I'm
and
trying to draw
butter.
up plays. I'm trying to draw plays like that. It's either you're gonna stick Wemby, you're gonna stick De'Aaron, or we're gonna draw a defender and we're gonna get an open three, and hopefully our guys can knock down that
And
corner
man,
three.
they got Pop at the head of all of it. So I mean, that's
Literally,
one of the best coaches, if not the best coach of all time. So I mean,
yeah.
he's
I think he might be the best coach of all
in
time.
my opinion, he is. Yeah, no
That
doubt.
man
Like
is goaded.
he's been sticking around winning championships in like every decade. Keep like updating to the
Right.
game.
It's
Like
not just like he
that's
had a good run. Like he can build a team, and he's done it multiple times.
Right, and not
Well,
only that, like he can update his coaching style to the new NBA. Like you got to think, this
yeah,
man started coaching in the '90s. Like
Yeah,
three ball wasn't like crazy like that. Like he has now updated his coaching style to allow his team to be like. If you tried to get Phil Jackson to coach now, he's gonna be running PNR and like all these like down low
run that
stuff.
triangle all
Yeah,
day
he's gonna be
long.
running that triangle offense all day long to the ground. It's gonna be like, bro, like it's the NBA. It's pace and
We know
space
about
now. Everybody's running down the floor at super high. It's like that 5 second offense that the Suns were playing at that one period with Steve Nash and Sean Marion and Amari Stoudemire when they were weird with Mike D'Antoni as the coach. Like,
yeah.
bro,
I think
that's goat shit.
Hey, what I was gonna say, I was gonna say like Pop, like he consistently got to the playoffs without All Stars. Like without All Stars, like
it.
before the play
That's
in, he was getting to the playoffs. He might have been 8th seed, 7th seed, but that's huge to not have like no All Stars. Nobody like when DeMar was there. Like DeMar wasn't really ringing bells. He was still a good player, but he wasn't ringing bells or any All Star
Mm-mm.
talent. But they were still getting to the playoffs consistently, and that comes from great coaching and great game planning. I feel like
Yeah,
so.
for
That's just
real.
so
I
like
think the Spurs are top 3 or top 4 NBA teams of all time if you can include all their history. So like obviously the Lakers and the Celtics are going to take 1 and 2 just because they've been around and have the most championships and
I'll put him
whatnot.
at 4.
You put them at 4. Who's your 3?
come on.
Thank you.
Tell me because I think we disagree.
Chicago Bulls?
Thank you.
Bro, I'm gonna
We
put
got
them
the
below the
arguable
Spurs.
goat.
I'm gonna put them below the Spurs, bro. Look at the Bulls right now. Look at them for most of their history. It was just Jordan. It was just Jordan. The Spurs been consistently good. I'm gonna put the Spurs at 3. I'm gonna put the Warriors at 4 because they were good in the beginning of the NBA and they had another dynasty run. Like they were good the whole way through too. You're talking Wilt Chamberlain and Steph Curry. I get what you're saying, so I'm gonna put the Bulls at number 5. But that was 1 decade in all of history. 5, bro.
Who'd you say was at 4?
Warriors.
The Warriors. Bro, they won the first ever championship, and they had a
Was it
dynasty
just one
recently.
championship?
No, they won a couple with Will, like a couple of the first ones. The Warriors were good in the beginning of NBA history. Then they kind of fell off. Then they came back. The Bulls were good for a period of time, which is why I'm going to put them top 5 for sure.
You know what? I'm gonna do my research on this conversation, and we're gonna have this debate again.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to
gonna
hit
talk
this
about
debate a lot harder one
because
day.
I like this. I like this
Okay.
topic, but I'm like I don't know too much about team
Yeah,
history. I
yeah.
know
That's why I'm just staying
the
quiet and just
Celtics
So
listening.
they
arguably
won
top
Yeah.
2.
1947, 1956, 1975, and then all of the Steph Curry championships. So they were relevant for a long time before Michael Jordan showed up.
He probably used to watch them back in the day.
That's 7, by the way, more than the Bulls.
One
Yeah,
more.
by 1, but we got him 3 and 3. Like that's way more iconic. Like the iconicness of it. 3 and 3 with the GOAT.
Bro,
With
I
the
hear that. And I'm agreeing with you. That's why I'm putting them in my top 5. But that was once. We're talking Wilt Chamberlain and Steph Curry.
Splash.
Nah, yeah, you did have Stephen Curry,
Oh
KD.
yeah, I hear
You
you.
arguably had the best dynasty of all time for sure. One of the best dynasties.
72 or
Like having
72
4,
and 9.
almost had 5 All Stars if DeMarcus Cousins could have came and played his role properly. Like, bro, that
But
was like
honestly,
that.
sorry to cut you off, but it
I
is
was
such a close debate that after the Celtics and the Warriors, or after the Celtics and the Lakers, the Warriors, Bulls, and Spurs, I do think are pretty even. That's just my personal. It would go Spurs, Warriors, Bulls.
Yeah, it's all
yeah,
definitely a debatable thing.
I think it's definitely depending on the person and how you perceive the history for sure. But I think those 5 teams are definitely like one of some of the most storied franchises ever.
Sorry, New York.
Yeah, I was
But
thinking
yeah,
about that. I was like, y'all just got money.
Literally, they ain't got shit
Y'all
else.
just got the money in the games, and like the most they used to have the most televised games.
so before we get into our break, let's just kind of wrap up the trade talk because there's still some guys and some teams that want to make some moves.
Mhm.
Also, before this, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I
No,
want to hear
you
your guys' winners and losers of those trades. Like, tell me who you think won the Mavs Lakers trade and who lost that trade.
well, that's what I
We
was kind
know.
of saying with the Luka trade is
We just gotta
immediately,
say,
I think the Mavs won the trade because the Mavs look better than the Lakers do this very second.
okay,
But long term, obviously the Lakers won because the Mavs are in a win now situation, and the Lakers have time to build around probably the best offensive player in the league.
yeah,
So yeah, so winners and losers, they both won, they both lost. Right now, the Lakers, well, I can't even say the Lakers lost, bro, because they just got Luka. Is
yeah,
that a loss? Is it a
no,
loss to get Luka?
not
So the
never.
Lakers win immediately and long term. The Mavs only win immediately. They lose long term.
I don't even know if they necessarily win
Overall,
immediately because, like, dude, they just made it to the finals and they improved their team around Luca this offseason with Clay and, like,
so,
I hear you, but
so who,
you
who would you say like period is the winner or loser? Like not long term, like
Lakers.
short term.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
straight up.
Lakers won,
Okay,
Mavs lost.
I agree. I concur. I
Okay, so
concur.
3 of 3 Lakers.
But
And
also,
then
also though, the Jazz won too. They didn't give up
The
nothing.
Jazz definitely won, bro. The
They got like
Jazz were just,
They got
they just happened to
$100,000
be in the
of
right
money
place at the
too.
right time, bro. I mean,
They were just there so it wasn't tampering.
well, since we're
literally.
back on this, I will say I kind of think the conversation went like this. So the Mavs GM calls up the Lakers. He's like, "Hey, I'm willing to give you Luka if you give us Anthony Davis." And the Lakers GM went, "Yeah, bro, you're not gonna want to hang up the phone before we close this deal," and then talked his way into making that thing
Did you
happen. And
hear that
that's
he
why
said that it
nobody heard
started at
about it.
a cup of coffee?
Yeah, I also heard the Lakers met internally for like 48 hours after that.
Like,
And
what?
during that time of all the Lakers front office having that meeting, dude, Nico Harris is his name, right?
Yeah, Nico Harrison.
Dude did not even tell anybody. Didn't tell a single person. Didn't even tell Jason Kidd, bro. Like told nobody.
He just walked through the building like,
And I'm wondering if the if the Lakers GM was like, "Hey, don't even tell anybody about this." Oh man.
he probably told
Anyway,
his wife or something. He was like,
yeah.
Do you
he was like,
though?
Bae, I'm cooking. Like, you got to go over it. Bae, I'm cooking right
Dude,
now.
I
And like I
promise.
understand why they didn't tell LeBron because LeBron probably would have been anti trade Anthony
Yeah,
Davis.
I mean, he seems like he has a really great relationship with AD, and it doesn't
Right, like
seem
they're
like
real homies.
LeBron. I mean, LeBron, of course, wants to win. He's got that drive within him, but I think LeBron's accepted that he's not getting another championship by the end of his career, and that he's just trying to play with
Yeah.
his son and do all these
And
cool, like, career accolades and records of playing this long and this, that, and the
and
other.
that's
It
it too. I
doesn't.
think he likes living in LA,
Yeah,
being a family friendly guy. So
yeah.
like he's got his family nearby. Now Bronny's on the
Getting
team.
all these
His homie Anthony
sponsorships.
Davis, who he hangs out with, is on the team. So and that I think is really gonna affect his day-to-day life, not necessarily his basketball performance, but it's gonna affect his life because he's gonna be like, dang, he probably hung out with Anthony Davis more than anybody else. That dude lives in Dallas now. So that's definitely interesting and kind of sad.
I was kind of thinking too, the Mavericks are kind of just LeBron's old teammates now. Just AD
Yeah,
and Kyrie just hanging out. Like, hey,
right.
what was your favorite moment of your championship with LeBron?
Bro, the Mavs are one near LeBron's Space Jam team. They just got to trade Kyrie for Dame.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
But yeah, I think LeBron is a loser in the situation. Not gonna lie,
LeBron's a loser?
I think he lost. I think he would rather, like we were saying, not too much focused on championships anymore. I think he's getting to that point where he would have rather just hung out with his homie for the rest of his career, retired in the next 2, 3 years, and let Anthony Davis take over the Lakers.
I hear
Not
you, but
saying
I
that
still
he's
think there's that
upset,
drive
but
in him to try and win enough that, like, I don't know if he's necessarily
yeah,
losing. Like, I think he might really have fun with this too, because, like, you got to think Luca's whole entire career they've compared him to LeBron. So, like,
Yeah, there's definitely positives to it.
Yeah, like he might have a lot of fun with Lucas still too. Like we don't know, like really, you know what I mean? So like he might, and and who knows? Like I mean, as much as we say the team's empty, I'm kind of, I'm kind of a hopeful for this team. I kind of feel like Luca and LeBron, you put them on a team and they're just the Avengers already by
Bro,
themselves.
Yeah, I
I think
also
that makes them a championship contender
Yeah,
with
that's
just
why I'm
those.
like, I don't know. Like those are two, like they're an archetype of their own. Like we never saw
Yeah.
another LeBron until Luca. Like that's like a
Luka can go
whole
for 80.
archetype of its own.
Luke Luca can go for 80 points, and with LeBron facilitating, like Luca can get going. Well, it's like the thing. It's like AD is a great player, but he can't. He don't have that ignition fire that Luca has to like go off. So it's like LeBron having that at his disposal, and like how LeBron facilitates. I think if they get the right thing going, and Luca can get hot, and LeBron continue to do what he do, and then Austin Reeves and connect play their roles like at the right time. I truly do think their team can go pretty far. And I don't even like the Lakers, but that's just me being a fan of sport and being like, that's actually tough.
Yeah.
Like that's actually
yeah,
like
I can
tough.
hear you there.
That changes both teams. Like, well, I guess it changed both teams. Maybe the Lakers, I mean the Mavs for the like the lesser, like they probably downgraded, but the Lakers upgraded. But the Mavs also have a great chance of continuing their run for the finals. Also, with Kyrie being back a number one um, option, which I'm happy for because I was sad to think like when Kyrie first went over there, I was like, well, is this the start of Kyrie becoming a second option and regressing? But now I see that the team trusts Kyrie and they're giving him the keys to the kingdom. So I'm excited to see Kyrie ball come back. I'm excited to see the crazy Kyrie clips again.
That is exciting. I will say it is
I
exciting
miss
that
Kyrie running
Kyrie
the,
had
the
that
shit.
space.
I miss Kyrie on the Celtics, bro. Like Kyrie on the Cavs is great. Kyrie on the
Y'all
Nets
keep
is
going. I'll be
great.
right back.
But Kyrie on the Celtics was like nasty, bro. Like that was a nasty time. So I'm just hoping he get back to that because that'd just be great as a fan to like witness that.
Yeah, I will say I watched the Lakers game the other night against the Knicks without Anthony Davis, and they did do a really good job playing defense. And in a post game interview, LeBron even said, you know, we got to work extra hard when AD is not here to cover.
Yeah,
He kind of cleans up after us, but they obviously can play that good a defense. And I know they're looking for a center still before Thursday's trade deadline,
yeah.
but if they don't get that, I think they might just shift Braun to kind of playing more of a big man role on that team, which I think he could do, which could be a good look for him at his age now. But yeah, I was gonna say Jimmy Butler and Bradley Beal still need to be moved.
Bro, I've been waiting on this the whole time. I don't know if y'all saw this yesterday, but Jimmy Butler, I guess the Heat and the Warriors were close to making a deal for him, and he
Okay,
got wind of it, and he let the Warriors know if they trade for him, he will not be re-signing.
dang,
He flat out told the organization, if
Yeah,
you
that's
so he
kind of
trade for
wants
me,
cool.
to play for the
I'm not gonna lie.
Suns.
if you trade for me, I will not re-sign.
That is
That's
crazy.
like that's crazy. But I feel like this is intentional so he can drop his stock. I think he's trying to like he like y'all not trying to trade me and get something good. Like after me, y'all gonna be screwed. So I think he's trying to get the asking price to be lower by diminishing his name. Because we all know he can turn it like he's the person that can flip the switch. Like he can flip the switch at any time and be like one of the best players in the league. So I think this is just him being like I want out of here. And I think it has a lot to do with Pat Riley and just like the stories we hear about Pat Riley still kind of being an old school general manager of like he is the program. You're not bigger than the program of
Yeah.
like you're going to listen, you're going to do this. I don't care that you make $200 million. This is my team. This is how we're doing it, and this is how you're going to respect it. And it's like that's not the league anymore. That might have been the thing back in the day when the GMs had all the power, but now the players have voices and opinions more, and they realize that they're the commodity, you know. And I think Jimmy Butler's kind of just tired of that type of probably organization of just like the Heat culture that we hear might be the reason why he's pushing away. I believe.
Yeah.
How likely do you think it is that he actually ends up in Phoenix like he wants?
For me, I feel like it's a dream. I feel like it's probably like realistic, but for me, I'm like I don't think we're gonna really get it. You know, it's like
Yeah, I think it
I don't
becomes even
really
more
happen.
unrealistic after the Bulls made the move they did. I think because it seemed
Yeah,
like
it
the Bulls
definitely
had to
does.
be a big part of like a three-team trade
Yeah,
with Jimmy, and now
that's what I
that's
thought too.
yeah, now
Yeah,
that Zach's been moved, it doesn't really feel like we're gonna have that ability to help that happen. I mean, maybe they find a different third team within the next
They might
couple
drop
of
him off for
days.
cheap though.
But
They
I
that's
might
mean,
drop
kind
him off.
of where I'm thinking
it's
that it
who
goes is
wants
based off
Bradley
of what
Beal?
you said, like that he's just gonna be dropping his stock down enough to where come Thursday they're gonna give him off for Cracker Jack.
Yeah, should
But yeah,
everybody
it
else
really
giving
comes
away
down
players
to
for
like
Cracker Jack?
what team is going to accept Bradley Beal? Because if there's a team interested in Bradley Beal, that's the team that needs to get in on the Phoenix Heat trade.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
I definitely think there's a
and
couple teams that could be interested, but I just don't know if they're teams that are able to get in the mix of this deal.
because that's the
And
next thing is the Heat, like you said, the Heat are trying to get the best that they can, and it's probably not going to work out for them. They're probably going to have to take a shitty package.
I
Like
think it's tough.
I think the
But Jimmy
Magic would
Butler,
love a Bradley Beal. Get a
that's a
guard that's not ball dominant, doesn't need the ball in his hands. He moves well off the ball a lot, and he can play next to Paulo and Franz. He's already kind of been known to be playing as like a second, third option. Like I said, I don't know if they necessarily have the money or the ability to get into that deal, but I think there's definitely teams out there, even like a Rockets. I think the Rockets would love Bradley Beal right now, but I don't know how much they're able to get into the mix. But I think the Rockets would absolutely love a Bradley Beal right now to be able to kind of be that, hey, we're going to give it to you come these situations because they don't really have a set stamped guy as that right now. I mean, even though Jalen Green has kind of showed that in certain situations he's kind of been that guy, but not every night. So that would be really nice for them. And like I said, there's other teams, but I just don't know if they can get in the mix.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think the big thing of the trade is that like Vance has like $60 million of
So
cap.
much money,
Like
dude.
you're gonna bite so much cap to get Bradley Beal.
And he's got the
Unfortunately,
no trade clause, so he can be like, "No, I don't want to go there, no matter what." Like he already
yeah,
that's
did.
why
Like he already did with
that's
the
the
Bulls.
reason Zach Levine's in Sacramento because Bradley Beal said no. I'm not going to the Bulls. They were going to send Zach Levine to the Bucks and Chris Middleton to the Heat.
Yeah, they probably had a deal set and made up, and they were like,
So I
"Hey,
heard
dude,
so many
like
rumors
both
about
sides
that
said
deal.
yes.
And
Are
like
you
it,
good
I
with it?"
was really convinced that Jimmy Butler was going to the Suns, Bradley Beal was going to the Bulls, and the rest of the trade I already said. And then Bradley Beal was like, "No, I'm not going to the Bulls," and that ended the conversation.
like
Dang,
fuck you, bitch. The
I would
fuck? When
I would
the last,
ask for a
when the
no
last time
trade
he
clause
scored
if
40?
I were an NBA player,
When the
especially
last
now that Luka got
time he
traded. I
scored
feel like
40?
trade clauses are going to be a lot more valuable. You know, like
When
if
the
I
last
were in the
time?
NBA right now and I were the best player on the team, I would go to the GM and be like, "Is there any way we can like add a no trade clause to my contract?" Because I
Yeah,
just saw Luca get shipped and he didn't even know, and
I
that's
need some
crazy.
security. I need some
Like
job
who's
security.
untouchable?
There's actually only two guys in the whole NBA with a no trade clause, though. I think it's LeBron and Bradley Beal. I don't know how Bradley Beal snuck that into his deal when he was with the Wizards, but the Wizards were
Yeah, he
like,
had a
"Yeah,
really
sure,
good
bro."
season
He did
that year. I
everything for them
remember.
though.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
it was like post John Wall. Like, yeah, that's why he's got
There was
all
a
this
lot of
money right
potential
now.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about fleecing.
But that's what I'm saying though, is I wonder if trade clauses are no trade clauses are going to become more common because players think what I just thought, which is like it's kind of crazy that Luca just got traded and he didn't even know.
I
Maybe a
think
superstar like LeBron and other people of that level should ask for those every time to make sure that things like this don't happen again.
I think it should be if that becomes more common. I think there should probably be a limit on it of how many players you can have on a roster that has a no trade clause. I feel like, or
Yeah.
maybe like how you have to fit a certain criteria to receive a super max
I was about to
contract.
say, yeah, maybe you have to like make it on an All
That should be
NBA
more
team, and
clear
then you
too.
can.
Like
Like you have to earn this because like we don't want to see teams giving it out and then you got a team full of no trade clauses and now you can't move any fucking thing
Yeah, and
because
you
I feel
just
like
crippled yourself. Yeah.
yeah, and I guess that is what I meant. Like I don't think Bradley Beal deserves a no trade clause, but I think
yeah
Kevin Durant does.
Yeah.
Like I think once you reach a certain status where you're a Luka in the league, you should be able to get a no trade clause so that you don't get traded. Because
Realistically, though, this upcoming contract probably would have been his no trade clause. Though
Yeah, I mean that Supermax that it was looking like he was supposed to be
true.
getting was crazy. So yeah,
345.
yeah,
$45 million.
yeah.
They
They fleeced him out of over 100 mil trading him to the Lakers for that next Supermax. He's gonna be getting
They
something
really
like
did.
215 or something now. I saw or something. I can't even remember, but which
Yeah,
is
but
still
it's definitely
crazy.
over
But
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't be okay with just the amount that he got fleeced on, but
I'd be mad though too, though.
Bro, losing
But
$100
yeah.
million
but
is losing
no,
I'd be
$100
like,
yes,
million.
yeah,
Like
300 mil?
yeah,
it doesn't matter what my paycheck is. If you're gonna cut almost a third of it off, I'm gonna be upset.
yeah.
You know, so that is really tough.
Because now you're talking
Um,
about generational wealth that you're taking away from people that like he could be setting up so many future generations with that you hope that so many of these players are doing with, like you kind of see with LeBron setting up all of his future generations already just with the endless amount. But
he'll be like 30 next time he get to resign. 30, 31. So he'll probably get that 300 mil, depending on how he's playing at that time.
yeah,
he'll probably get closer to 500 mil.
Yeah, it'll be about time.
It'll be different too because of the tax codes and everything. So
when do you think we're getting the first $1 billion contract?
Probably when we gonna be like, I remember when Stephen Curry cracked 200 mil. Like they gonna be like, Grandpa, that was like 2017.
It's gonna be like Bron the third.
Yeah, LeBron James the third. Like, bro, I remember when bro was dad.
They're gonna be like, what the hell? You remember his grandpa?
They're like, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. LeBron James is old. That's crazy how like LeBron James is gonna be like how we view probably like Bill Russell. Like when our kids are like old.
Oh yeah.
It's like, dang, LeBron James is gonna be like, bruh, he did that in 2020, bro. That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Our century is young still.
But yeah, you guys ready for a break?
Yeah, I'm down for a break.
Take a little break. When we come back, we'll talk about our all-star snubs and how we feel about the new format and whatnot.
I got this broke down to the numbers.
Welcome back. We're going to get into those all-stars now. So if you didn't know, all-star starters in the West were SGA, Curry, LeBron, Jokic, and Kevin Durant. So you kind of see those old heads getting in there based on legacy, championships won, and stuff. I saw a lot of debate on Twitter about how they shouldn't be there because other guys are doing better right now, which is fair. There's guys that are doing better than them right now, but they're not legend status, you know? In the East was Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Giannis, Jason Tatum, and Karl Anthony Towns. So in the East, you really see like the best of the best teams, best players type of thing, just because there's not as many of those long-standing. So just wanted to clear the air on that right away. I do not have the reserves pulled up.
I got them here. So in the East, we see 4 guards and 3 forwards. The 4 guards being Darius Garland, Cade Cunningham, Damian Lillard, Tyler Herro, and then the forwards being Jaylen Brown, Evan Mobley, and Pascal Siakam. Do we want to go East, talk about that, and then switch to the West, or should I?
Yeah, let's just talk about the East right now.
Yeah.
Before we get into snubs, I feel like a couple things on the lineup. Tyler Herro, I was excited that he was there because he was having a good season. I think I had snubbed him originally on mine. He didn't make it.
Okay.
Because of some of the other guys in the East.
A little crazy.
But I'm happy to see him there anyways because he is having an all-star season and he deserves a nod.
Someone that on the opposite spectrum that, I mean, I love the guy to death and he hoops tremendously, but Pascal?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
that's Pascal being on the team. And like you said, no offense to him.
He's a hooper and whatnot.
No, for sure.
But
there's just so much talent
Yeah,
And
Yeah, he could have been snubbed
and other
off for me.
places. I think he's just playing pretty average level of basketball. It's like it's great, which is like average basketball is like what you want in the league because a lot of dudes perform below average. But it's like it's not like wowing like some of the other dudes kind of make you feel. It's just kind of like okay, he's doing what needs to be done, which is
Yeah.
like not average.
right,
Like when you're thinking of All Star, you're thinking about the dudes that do the best things, that do the craziest things. That's like, wait, if there was a game where he can like have no restrictions, like he'd be a dog. It's like I don't see Pascal like really being a dog. He
See,
might drop like he
and,
might drop like 6 points in All Star game,
and that's a
maybe.
great point to make. With that point being made, honestly, I really like I think in my original reserves list, I had Scotty instead of Pascal because I
I
just
like
think
Scotty.
Scotty is just, younger. He deserves it a little more. And like you kind of said, he kind of has that fire under him where, like, you give him the offense for a night and he might go off for 40, like we've seen this
Yeah,
season, like in one of his first games back from injury when he was dealing with that little injury at the start of the year. He came back and was just going crazy, like ready to play. And it was like, okay, okay. And since then, he's still been playing amazingly for them and kind of helping them stay afloat, him and RJ Barrett. That's why I think it's really give or take between one of the two of who you like more and who actually gets the votes more because they're both playing kind of relatively the same
right.
if you're looking at the counting stats. But yeah, I just don't think Pascal was who I saw to be up there, I guess.
Yeah,
yeah,
honestly, and I'm wondering, it kind of gets into a snub conversation, which I'm realizing all my snubs aren't really snubs because, like, I'm going to talk about Tyrese Halliburton. And I don't think he deserves to be an all star this year, but I wrote him down because I thought that he was going to have a better year, like a lot of people thought. And I'm wondering, would Pascal Siakam be an all star if Tyrese Halliburton has had a good season so far? Or would he
No.
just get overlooked? And exactly.
Yeah.
So they just really wanted to give a nod to the Pacers, I think. And they couldn't give it to him because Tyrese Halliburton's been having a bummy season.
Yeah.
Um,
mhm.
which is why I wrote his name down because I don't think he should be there, but I wish he was. I wish he wasn't having a bad season. We saw him last year in the conference finals. We know what he's capable of.
Mhm.
So he's an all-star caliber player. It's the numbers just aren't there this season.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like for the money they paying him, it's like it's kind of crazy. It's like,
And another
bro,
side of it with the snubs is like you said, Scotty. I also, if players were injured, but I felt like outside of injury, they've had a pretty good season. I wrote their
mhm.
name down, even though they haven't been there a lot. Scotty's one of those guys, He, yeah, he is a good forward. He just hasn't played a lot of games.
One guy that I noticed that missed it that I really could care less if he missed it or not. I had this guy as a snub, and he wasn't on my original reserves list when we were writing this down. Lamelo.
LaMelo,
Couldn't
yeah,
care less that he's not on the team, and I'm gonna tell you why right now because I've been saying for weeks now he makes some of the most brain dead situations when it comes down to the end of the game and it's time to like
right.
make a game winning play and it's a close game. But he's like still trying to throw alley oops to himself and do these crazy street moves like he's playing in the backyard with Lonzo and G still. Like it's like, bro, like you can't do it like that. Like when you're in the NBA and you are in a close 2 point game and you're up and now with one stupid decision you just let them get a three and then they went on a run and now they're up nine.
Yeah. Yeah, LaMelo was also originally a snub for me, even though he's such a good player.
Yeah, the
Um,
counting stats say he should dang near be a starter.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
was, I was. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was gonna say that was like that was like the reason I kind of had him penciled in was because the numbers are there. Like there's a line between players getting votes and players being true all stars. Some dudes you have to make all stars based on like this guy is playing like a true all star, and then some guys you kind of have to give it to him because this is a fan voted thing. And if we're talking about ratings, if the fans vote 1,908,967 people voted for LaMelo Ball to be there. That's your ratings right there. If you don't, they didn't include him into the game. If one person voted each time, that's how many people would not be watching the game based off bro not being selected. So it's like if we do an All-Star game, it's sometimes fan selected, and then it's like some guys as peer hoopers that deserve to be there too. But I feel like this is one of those ones where they kind of snub them based off the fan voting. Like if you got someone that's top 10 in fan voting, like all like in both respective what's it called conferences, I think you should have him in there. But and definitely like his all he doesn't make All-Star caliber play for sure. I'll definitely agree with you on that too.
But I hear you though, in the same sense of like the counting stats are there, and if you think about LaMelo in an All-Star game, that's kind of what the All-Star game is all about. Just
Yeah.
having fun and making those fun plays. So I hear you. It'd be so fun to have LaMelo in the All-Star game, but like I said, just personally, with my opinion, like yeah, I just could not give a shit less if he's in the All-Star game or not, just because of like the lack of winning plays made by him. Like it almost feels like Brandon Miller wants to win more some games than
Yeah.
LaMelo because LaMelo's out there just being goofy.
The IQ got to get better with some of his shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little sad just because of like all the things you guys have said about what he is, but also like you were saying with the fan voting. Like we even have friends who don't watch basketball. But they'll root for LaMelo because they know about LaMelo and they think LaMelo is a dope young player that could be really good. So you
Yeah.
see the fan love, and that is kind of what you want in the All Star game. But like I said, and I'll double down on it, and like you said, I had him snubbed anyways before the reserves came out
Yeah.
because of Cade Cunningham, of Darius Garland, of Tyler Hero, of Damian Lillard, of even Trey Young, who's my next snub.
Yep.
There's so many guards.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown, we could call it snub.
That's a
There's
tough
so
one.
many good guards in the East that you have to look at more
Mhm.
than just how good you are. You have to look at
Who did you say?
what decisions are you making in the final 5 minutes of the game.
He said
You
Trey
know,
Young as a snub.
No, I'm talking about the one he said after Trey Young.
Jaylen Brown.
He got snubbed.
No, he's on the reserves.
Oh, he is?
Yep. Him, Mobley, and Pascal are on the reserves.
Okay.
Okay. I guess I don't have his name written down, so I probably knew that when I made my list, but I was just talking about guard specifically right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even though he is kind of a guard forward. Maybe it's the wrong time to bring up his name. Anyways, with LaMelo,
You're good.
you got to look at everything. And like you said, poor decision making, and those decisions end up losing the game. And you can see that in the standings. And the standings are really what helped me make the decisions because there are so many good players that I
Yeah.
think should be on the team. But then I got to look at the standings and say, well, are you leading your team to a contention situation? And LaMelo is not doing that. The
No.
Hornets are bad. And
Yeah.
everybody knows that. LaMelo knows that. And yeah, so that's going to get him snubbed.
Yeah, I don't think you can be 12 and 34 sitting at the 14th seed in the East and be an all-star. I mean, no matter what the counting numbers say, you just, like you said, you have to produce some sort of winning basketball in the slightest. I mean, we're even saying that we would have gave some credit to Scotty Barnes, and they're sitting at 16 and 33. They're not doing so much better, but I mean, when they do win games, they look good and they keep up with some of the better teams too. Like it's not like they're just playing completely terrible ball every single night. So
Yeah.
it's
Spin off of Scotty with some more injuries. Paulo.
yeah. It'd be a whole different situation if certain guys were healthy for sure. Paulo would be a shoe-in as a starter almost.
And I wanted to give a nod to the Magic in general because there's a lot of good guys on that team, which aren't necessarily all stars. But
Franz
they
would have been
that
in the
third
conversation.
Seed, without Paulo, they had that third seed. Like that's something the Magic did this year. So kudos to all of those guys. The opposite end of the spectrum, my last thing to say about the East is three, not necessarily snubs, but kind of like a Tyrese Halliburton situation. Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid.
So Maxey's the one that could have made it, honestly.
He
He's
definitely
been
had the
balling.
best. He's been doing decent, but like the standings with LaMelo and stuff.
Mhm.
So that's why I just wrote the 76ers because they're all kind of different reasons. So like Embiid similar to like Paulo or like Kawhi, which we'll get into. And then Tyrese Maxey's similar to like LaMelo, where he's having a pretty good season. But yeah, that's all I have to talk about in the East.
I thought another good snub that you brought up that we haven't really touched on at all was Trey Young. I mean, Trey Young has been playing absolutely amazing. We kind of touched on it in the sense of like just saying that certain guys are going to get snubbed just because there's so many good guards in the East, but
And
I
I
think we
had
really-
him over Tyler Hero.
Yeah, I think we really right, exactly. There you go. I think we really got to give Trey his flowers just for really bringing this Hawks team into like a new mold with all of the youngins with Jalen Johnson, even though he's been out for the year now with that injury that he got. Hopefully he gets better soon. But Dyson Daniels and all of those guys just playing so good around him. Even Zachary Ricochet kind of coming to his NBA self and learning how to make some sufficeable minutes here and there. And a lot of that has to do with Trey Young having this experience that he's had now for being in the league for so long. I mean, what? I think 7 years now, because if Luka's been in the league for 7 years, that means Trey's been in the league for 7 years. So right, so he's been in the league for 7 years now. He's not necessarily a vet, but he's a guy with a good amount of experience under his belt and knows how to play the game really well, especially being at the point guard position and with how good he is at playmaking. So I think that's just all credit to Trey Young for actually keeping the Hawks somewhat relevant actually this year when a lot of people didn't expect them to be whatever. I mean, they're only at the 9th seed right now, kind of dipping off a little bit from what
I
their
was gonna
hot
say,
streak was. But still, I mean, all credit to Trey Young. He definitely could have been an all-star and is a snub this year as well.
yeah, I knew they kind of fell to like the play-in spot, but like we've talked about the Hawks already a lot this year. We think they're good because they are good and they've won tough games, tough matchups.
Oh, yeah.
And so we've seen Trey Young make good decisions and win those games for his team, along with other people on the team. Obviously, it's not just Trey Young, but he is the leader of the team. But Dyson Daniels has been having a good season. I forget they're big. Jared Allen, or did he move?
Jared Allen's on the Cavs.
That's what I thought.
Is
Do
it
they
still
still got
Clint
Capella? I was like, do they still got
That's who it
Capella?
was. That's who
I
it
think
was.
I think it's still Clint Capella.
Yeah, they had Capella for a while now.
He's been decently solid. Based on fantasy numbers, is all I can say about that.
Yeah, because
But
Jalen Johnson was also. Oh, and Okongwu. Can't forget Okongwu. He's younger. He didn't really
Jalen
progress into
Johnson's
what
on
they
that
thought.
team too.
Yeah, but he's out for the year now. I think he just tore his meniscus or something like
Yeah,
that a
but
couple nights ago. But he was playing fantastic for them.
He was on my fantasy team. So yeah, I haven't watched a lot of Hawks games, but I should.
Yeah, Trae Young's an offensive unit all by himself.
But are we ready for the West?
I'm gonna take that as a yes. Western Conference Reserve.
Wait.
Don't everybody all jump at once, you know?
I didn't. I was talking about watch, but I didn't get a chance to talk about the Trey Young.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
I think it's crazy that the NBA has consistently snubbed Trey Young, and it was like they snubbed him on years where he was having better numbers than he did this year. You know, I think he's averaging 23 and 11 or something like that, and it's like that's all-star caliber.
He's a double machine nightly.
Exactly. You know, it's like not giving him the nod after all these years of putting in work. I feel like kind of is a disrespect, and that's not a knock to none of the other players that made it too. But it's like he has consistently put in the work, and like it's been out there that like even when he was averaging 27 and 10, he wasn't getting it. You know, it's like that's kind of crazy, and I don't know. I feel like that might have a role to play with like league politics may play a role into that. Honestly.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like Trey Young is a weird afterburner thought. Like everybody really loved him during that run when he beat the Knicks and he brought the Hawks this far in the playoffs and whatnot when he was young in his career. But ever since then, yeah, I hear you. It almost feels like the NBA has tried to not necessarily make him out to be a bad guy or a villain, but not a good guy either. Like the NBA don't love him. They don't post Ice Trey all the time like they used to.
You know, it's literally they say nothing.
Right, they just say nothing
about it. So now it's like you don't know if it's good or bad.
Right,
and, you know, that might have a role to play with the New York media, maybe, because he did shit on them and hit them
and
with.
He continues to.
Yeah, he just did like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
he did in the tournament
too. It's free smoke for
he loves NSG.
I got love for Trey Young. So yeah, when I saw that snub, I was like, damn, that's sad to see that that man can't get his nod and you know get those accolades on his career because he definitely put in the work for those. I don't want him to be a guy that we look back in like 20 years and be like, dang, bro don't have no accolades on his name given he was a dog. So the kids won't even know Trey Young was actually a dog. He wasn't just one of those guys that was just, you know, I'm not going to say any names like that, but yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, he's comparable to Steph Curry, except he's got better playmaking, if we're being honest. I mean, who else shoots the three ball? Like, even with Dame kind of shooting the three ball, not less, I mean, kind of a little less, you know what I mean? He's not like doing it like he was in Portland, where he was just chucking up logo. It's not
Not the
logo
lead
Lillard.
scorer anymore, so
Yeah,
he
it's
doesn't
not.
do too much of that.
Right. It's not Logo Lillard anymore. So it feels like it's really Trey and Curry that are the ones that are taking those really high volume deep threes still, and they're the main guys. And the one thing that
Trey's
Trey
also on
has,
another level with deep ones.
right, and another thing that Trey has to his game is Trey play makes better than Curry. I love Curry to death, and he's a great passer, but Trey Young has averaged double digit assists for about his whole entire career.
Yeah, this was what he's a dual threat. This is what he do.
Right.
You
He
know,
not only
might be a
scores,
triple
but he
threat.
passes amazing. And
Yeah,
yeah, so I mean, there's certain years, like you said, where his stat lines were way better. And honestly, I think he could have been like an MVP type candidate just with if we're giving him the true respect he deserves. I mean, he's literally a whole offensive system on his own. That's like a James Harden prime type of player, except he's passing the ball more. He's getting more assists because he's more of a team oriented player rather than this chuck up shots guy. But
I think the Hawks as a whole might not just even get enough exposure. Maybe I feel like I never see like I feel like I have to go out and hear things about the Hawks.
that's true, especially like if you think about it, like their best team in recent history, not a lot of people know about, like the one with like Corver and Al Horford and Joe Johnson and
Yeah,
Paul Millsap when they were like making the All-Star team, and they were like just a rug tug of guys that were just not any necessarily superstar, but just like a bunch of really good
yeah. That's when Jeff
stars.
Teague made the All Star
Jeff
game.
Teague, yep. Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver, Al Horford, and like Paul Millsap. They had like damn near the whole starting lineup make the All Star team one year.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I feel like Atlanta probably just don't get the shine they need.
No, not really.
That
No.
sucks, man. There's a lot of bum teams that get more. I hear about the Pistons more than I hear about the Hawks last year.
Literally though. All right, moving on to the West. So the reserves are looking like we got Anthony Edwards and James Harden in the guard spots, and then they got these guys marked as forwards, so that's just how I'm gonna say it. We got 5 forwards out west. We got Wemby, Jalen Williams, Alperen Sengun, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Anthony Davis. Let me know what you guys think about that. And it even says on this website, Anthony Davis, Mavericks.
Mm.
He is a Mavericks All-Star, guys. Him and LeBron are not going to be actual teammates playing on the All-Star team. Wait, they might not
Yeah,
even be teammates anyways. Who knows how it's going to get drafted, but
yeah, that's true.
you're crazy.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Actually, we'll do our snubs, then we'll talk about that. Snubs. All right. We talked about injury-related snubs, so I'm just going to get those out of the way right away so we can talk about people who have actually had all-star seasons. I mentioned Kawhi. Kawhi just came back.
Oh my
like,
gosh,
after
yeah. If Kawhi played the whole year, he'd be an All-Star, no doubt.
So, like,
That man's
nobody was
a
even voting
robot.
because he was injured during the voting. But yeah, he came back like he does every time. Came back just like himself, like he was never injured. So shout out to him. Luka obviously did not play a lot of basketball this year, but he's Luka. Everybody knows he's one of the best players in the world. Nobody's trying to be like, nah, he fell off,
No,
except for
yeah.
maybe Harris. But yeah, so Luka's another one. And yeah, we can kind of get into it. Or I was happy about Harden. I was gonna say I had Harden snubbed. And Anthony Edwards actually had them. No, I had Harden.
I was
I
about
had
to say, who
Anthony
did you have?
I had Anthony Edwards snubbed. Harden was on my list though, along with Kyrie.
Yep, I had Kyrie as well.
And Kyrie, I mean, we could talk about his season because he's been performing pretty well, but it's the same as it is with the Curry, LeBron, and KG thing. Like we were kind of talking on our break, Kyrie's like borderline there with them. Like obviously he didn't win an MVP, isn't like top tier legend, but he's maybe number 4 in that era.
No,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely
So
up
for
there.
that reason, like he should be there.
And
you
not
know?
only that, he's kind of changed his game a lot more playing with the Mavs kind of learning how to be a facilitator a lot more. You see him passing the ball a lot better than I think he has in his career ever, like actually running an offense and like making sure guys get in their spots. He's being more of a vocal leader this year, kind of making sure that he's getting in that huddle and being like, let's go guys, let's go, and like getting everybody hyped up. So I definitely think, yeah, a lot of the seniority of just like playing for so long and being so great for so long mixed with him kind of revamping his game a little bit definitely deserved an all-star nod. So I'm pretty bummed out to see Kyrie missing out on this, but I mean, there's just so many good guys and the league keeps expanding and talent keeps getting to be more and more that they're going to have to add another all-star team eventually because like you said, you have like a whole in the break or maybe even before, I don't remember if it made it in, but you have like a whole team of snubs damn near. Like we could make a whole another team of all-stars based off the snubs almost every year. So with them moving to this 3-team thing, maybe that's kind of what they're transitioning to like test out almost to see if we like the 3-team thing and then to see if they can add more players in eventually because it does kind of feel like they're running the teams a little dry, aren't they? Like teams of 8.
Yeah, the teams of 8.
So it's
And
not
which
even like a
actually,
full bench.
right, which I think it used to be 13 on each team, which is 26. So now there's 8 teams of 3, so there's only 24 All-Stars this year. I
Right.
think,
So that on top of that, yeah, I mean, but I just feel like there's going to be snubs every year. And yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
But
I personally, you go ahead.
I was gonna say I kind of like keeping it 2 teams, and I think it should stay like not with this new format, just because I think if we keep it in the same format and we keep having snubs, we have players who have they now have a drive to want to go hard.
That's a
Like we
very
talk
good
about
point.
players not being motivated, like it's how we motivate them. We get the rules stricter. We make it so you really have to play ball to get in like in these events because like truthfully, they are making millions of dollars from our viewership. Like, why shouldn't y'all give us the best thing that y'all can give us? Like, why are y'all like? It should be a privilege and an honor to play in the All Star game to be decorated as like one of the best players in the league. So I feel like the league kind of got away from that, and now it's just like. And I feel like what plays a role into that is the media propaganda, and that's what a couple players kind of hinted at, just like the media propaganda of like what you all have to do during like the All Star. It's just like, bro, this is supposed to be fun, easy, chill time to like it's kind of like vacation where I get to play a game. But the league has made it so media that it's just like a job. It's like a job for them. They have to pull up to the city, do media shoots. You got to do interviews, and it's like I'm just here to play ball, and I feel like that might have played a role in like killing it for a couple guys.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Especially, I hear you with the not wanting to bring an extra team in just because it gives guys that are snubs that extra drive. Because if we're being honest, that's the reason that we saw some of Damian Lillard's best years with the Portland Trailblazers was that one year that he got snubbed from the All-Star team. And then, like, I remember social media was like in an uprise. I can't remember what year it was exactly, but Dame was going off and he got snubbed from the All-Star team. And for the rest of the year, he went crazy. And then that playoffs, he went crazy. And of course, we know how the Trailblazers were built around him, so it's not like he did anything super nuts. But I just remember he came back for the rest of that year and went nuts. And then the following year and like really proved his point as an all star. So I can hear you there where like these snubs aren't. We don't want to say they're a good thing, but they do add fuel to a fire when you have that certain competition within you to actually go out and get it the next year.
Yeah, yeah, that's a valid point. But yeah, I would have snubbed Anthony Edwards over Kyrie. Anthony Edwards obviously is having a 3-point shooting season that we haven't seen anything really like before, so that's cool. And I got to give him a nod to that, but also kind of standings and just in general. And like I said about like the kind of legend status, I'd give it. I had Anthony Edwards snubbed, even though I'm happy for bro, one of my favorite players in the league right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very happy with all the forwards that got picked. I mean, Jalen Williams, I
Yeah,
I could talk about him for I feel like hours. That guy is just a straight hooper, and just the way that he stepped his game up this year with Shea being out for that little teeny bit at the start of the, or maybe it wasn't Shea. I might be tripping. Uh, Chet being
Chet.
out, yeah, Chet being out for the bit, and I think iHeart was out for that little bit, right? Because Jalen had to play center, and bro, like he's just dominated this whole entire year and turned himself into that number two mold, and just so much credit to him. Alperen Sengun, that's baby Jokic right there. Like
So it's Jalen Williams, Sengun, Anthony Davis, and Wemby, right?
Wemby and Jaren Jackson Jr. There's only two
And
guards.
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
so that was my list.
five forwards in the West.
That was mine, except I didn't have Wemby on it because I saw he was on the Rising Stars team. So I assumed he wasn't going to be on an all-star team. So I took him off and put Sabonis.
Yeah,
Had,
Sabonis is a guy that definitely got snubbed. I'm happy you mentioned his name because
yeah, I thought Sabonis should be on the team. But
it's just tough. Who do you take
I
off?
put Wemby on the team, I think Sabonis is the one I would have snubbed.
You said who?
If I put Wemby on the team, I think I would have snubbed Sabonis, which is the person that got snubbed. So I think I agree with the forwards, like right on par.
Honestly, get Anthony Davis out of here. Give me Sabonis. I love AD and the start of his season, but he's Mr. Off Night. I'll call him that until I'll call him that. No, never mind. Let me chill back. I ain't gonna say that to his face. But he Mr. Off Night. He go off for 40 one night, and the next night he going off for 5 points and 2 rebounds. Like I don't know if that's legit, but like pretty close. So whereas Sabonis, I mean, like me and you have talked about Michael so many different times, and I'm sure me and you as well, Twono. Like this man literally was in conversations and did break records that were held by Wilt Chamberlain for double doubles and shit like that. Like this man was on a double double streak for like longer than any, but like he holds the record. He is the double double king.
Mans was crazy.
No,
and he
right.
can do it. He can do it with assists. He can do it with points. He can do it with rebounds and assists. Like he do it in so many ways, which is like so versatile, and that's good for a team. And that's why the Kings need to find somebody who can. They need to find some offense-heavy players that can also play alongside Sabonis. I feel like he's the perfect piece to build around because he can do it in so many different ways.
Hey, that's why they tried to go and get Zach. They're hoping Zach's going to be that little bit more of an offensive push than De'Aaron.
I hope so. I hope Zach unleashed that beast. You know, I think he was unhappy in Chicago for a couple of years. Personally, it's just he didn't look happy. Like what a happy player looks like in the town. He was playing it off
politically, but no.
Yeah, he was not happy. So so hopefully he unleashed that little beast that he got locked in the cage once he get this green light over there in Sacramento.
Well, I think the reason that I would have had Anthony Davis over Sabonis is because I think what they've done this season, Anthony Davis has contributed to more wins than Sabonis has done. I think when Anthony Davis was hot, they were damn near the best team in the West. When he wasn't so hot, they're still one of the best teams in the West. And the Kings have never really been on that level this whole season. Even when Sabonis is doing well, they're still losing important games. But I love him. I mean, I'm a big Sabonis rider. Not gonna lie.
Definitely happened. Jaren Jackson made it as well because you needed some sort of Memphis representation. I don't think Ja's been playing quite to all-star level quite yet. When you look at the caliber of guards that are in the all-star race this year, it's like he's not really at that level. But Jaren Jackson is at that level. He has been absolutely stunning for them this year. Like, this is a guy who was a defensive player of the year and this, that, and the other, and we thought we maybe saw the top of his potential. And this year, all he did was jump up, and he looks even better and looks very comfortable offensively and is still doing amazing things defensively, rebounding the ball well. Like, he is a dominant force down low this year.
I think he's having a season on par with Jalen Williams' season, which is why for me
it's a great comparison, honestly.
I was gonna say I'm happy that he kind of went through that bullying last year. That was kind of like, bro, you got the decoy and like all the players that would come for his neck. I think that was Anthony Edwards that told him in the Olympics, like, nigga, you're supposed to be the the defensive player of the year, like stick to defense. I think that and like having the media played a role in lighting that fire, and I think he probably got in that lab last year and probably tapped into that bag of trying to get his offensive skills better, which is a huge nod for him.
No doubt.
I personally probably would have snubbed. I would have snubbed Segun for Ant Edwards.
I
Get
mean,
another guard in there. For it to only be like two guards.
Ant's in
in
there.
Oh, he's in it. All
Yeah.
three.
So it's Anthony Edwards, James Harden, and then Vic, Jalen, Alperen Sengun, Jaren Jackson, and Anthony Davis. Is there somebody else?
Okay. I thought he got snubbed.
Yeah, no, it's Anthony Edwards and James Harden as the two guards. But I
I was
hear
thinking
you.
I would have snubbed him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was
But no,
wondering.
Sengun, I mean, the Rockets are second, man. You got to give them some love somehow.
You kind of have to, yeah.
Yeah, they just. Well, yeah,
I hear
Yeah, I
you. They
guess
don't
it's
really have like a superstar guy,
Yeah,
so it's
that's what I was
tough.
saying. I was going to put the blame on Jalen
Plus
Green.
Jalen Green over Sengun too.
This
They're
supposed to
kind
be
of
like-
like, you know,
They be bouncing off who's the star each night, yeah.
Yeah.
I love because my coworker's a Rockets fan, so I love listening to him talk about them because we both think at some point they're gonna have to choose one and give them money and get rid of the other one.
Realistically,
Um,
yeah.
And so it's kind of like interesting to hear his takes on who is the guy because it could go either way. You really don't know who they're going to commit to when that time comes. Where, I mean, maybe they commit to both. That would be cool, but that would cost a lot of money. So they
I think
basically be like committing to only them.
I
I
think
think
based
they commit.
yeah, I think based off of recency bias with Jokic, you go with the mini Jokic and
Yeah.
you get Sengun.
Yeah,
If that's the car model that's hot right now, that's the one I'm
and
buying.
that's what's
Yeah.
interesting about it. It used to be Jalen Green.
Right.
Sengun's kind of taken over.
Because Jalen Green's kind of like that, like, this is going to be a reach, but just like archetype, kind of like that Kobe, Jordan, like he's going to bing, 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 like try and like take the ball and
Right, he's
score
like
a
your
lot.
athletic shooting guard.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you guys saw that Charizard picture of Sengun and Sabonis and Jokic.
Yeah.
And how they're different phases. And yeah, that's honestly perfectly accurate.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's disagreeing. And Sengun's young, so he could easily evolve into that full
Charizard.
evolution Charizard.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
He's
cool.
in the right situation.
No doubt.
I think that wraps up Snubs. Russell Westbrook gets a nod for the season he's having. Even if it's not an all-star season, he gets an honorable mention in this conversation.
Yeah, he's having a good season. Not an all-star worthy, like you said, but definitely a great season.
But like, yeah, he's a starter again.
Oh my
He's
gosh, yeah.
Jokic really well. So I wanted to give him some love, anyways.
I feel like he was never like he got his low lights for sure over the last couple of years, but I never felt like he really lost it. I just felt like he was too in his head, and he's not wrong for that. I just think he was just I just don't think he was in the good situations. I think he was maybe ring chasing a little bit, which made him probably made decisions to like go to these random places, but I feel like he had a little bit more left in the tank, like probably this much left in the tank that he's doing right now. I still kind of had hope that he still had this in there. I didn't think he was totally done. I didn't think like how he was like, I thought he should retire. I was like, I think he just needs a good situation. It's not going to be old Westbrook, but I felt like he could still go to a team to thrive. Given his drive, like you saw, he still wanted to go. So that was enough to show me like he's Westbrook still in there. Like a player should retire when it's like that motor is sputtering, and he was like, nah. Like I feel like he was still driving to the paint with the same intensity that he did when he was 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just been nice to see him like happy and thriving rather than struggling like he has been in the years in LA, whether it was with the Lakers or the Clippers.
Yeah.
It's just cool to kind of see him. Like before the season, I was like, it's James Harden's bounce back season, and it has been. So kudos to me for getting that right. But the Westbrook thing, I did not see coming. Like I said, I was like, dang, should bro like maybe retire because it's not working out anywhere. But
that's crazy.
and which was better take than mine, obviously. He still got it. He just needs the right situation.
Yeah.
Super happy to see him in the right situation.
For real. So is
I
that
don't know.
all about the All-Star reserves and snubs?
Final call.
Yeah, that's
No
all I was gonna
snubs.
say. I was gonna bring up another point of something different
I was
that I
gonna say,
haven't.
yeah, we can move on to other stuff, and we can move on to some NBA games that we want to talk about over the last couple weeks. Since last week I was sick, we kind of started recording, and we got like 10, 15 minutes in, and I couldn't do it, so we had to stop. So we haven't uploaded in a couple weeks, so there's definitely a couple games, things, topics, like he said, that we just want to talk about and touch on and kind of roll with there. So let's get into that. What was it that you wanted to bring up?
My hair wasn't together. You was like, I got a couple topics to touch on. I was just like,
All right, all right. You
the new
funny.
generation got me, bro. The new generation
You
got
don't
me.
got nothing? You just said you had something?
No. I do have something. I want to talk about
Just
the
bait
Isaiah
me into
Thomas,
it.
Oh
Isaiah
yes,
Thomas
bro.
G
Big
League game.
Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas got picked up by the Jazz affiliates. I think that is.
Really?
Is it the Jazz?
Yeah,
Yeah, he got picked up in the G League, and he came and dropped 40 in his first game back. And I just wanted to hear y'all take
I
on
did
what y'all
hear
think
about the
about
40 piece. That's dope.
Dang,
it. Yeah,
dude,
he
I
I
like
didn't
dropped
even
saw
40.
his
know.
statement that he was like really excited to be back and like playing basketball again at any level. Like he just wants to go out there and compete. And
Yeah,
just
I
stuff
think
wants
I
to
think
stick.
he, he played in 4 games last season in the G League and dropped. He dropped. I think he was averaging 32.9 over
Yeah,
like
he was
5 games.
doing good. He's a hooper. I mean, he's
Yeah.
yeah, Hooper's favorite Hooper, honestly. Like that type of a guy. Like he's just such a good human too, and just a great story. Like you just like hate to see what happened with his career and whatnot. So
Politics.
yeah, honestly, a bunch of politics plus with the hip injury. I mean, that definitely did him in dirty. Like the timing of it, like it was tough. So, um. I don't know. I didn't know about this, so this is definitely like a blind think and quick react. First thoughts. That's awesome. Like I want to see bro back in the NBA. Like that's like the big dream I
Yeah.
feel like for him and for like all of us like real NBA heads that really love the game and want to see all the players do well and whatnot. Like we all want to see IT back and we want to see him on a team and playing some good bench minutes because clearly if he's dropping 40 in the G, anybody that can drop 40 in the G it can
First game back.
right can put up some minutes in the NBA. I'm not saying he's going to be out there dropping 40 in the NBA, but you know, he
Right.
could put up some minutes and do some decent things for the team. So I think that's really good for him, and hopefully teams take a look at that, especially the Jazz. What do the Jazz have to lose right now? Like, let him come to the roster and let him take a spot up.
Yeah, they maybe condition him in so he can do that. Hopefully
Hopefully.
that's the case.
No,
Because
right.
it'd be I feel like he could definitely come facilitate, teach knowledge to the young dudes.
Mm.
Like if anybody can teach you about putting in work, I'm pretty sure he can tell dudes about it.
Oh, yeah,
Because
no
he keeps
doubt.
getting shot after shot after shot. So people must see something in him to be like, hey, he can hoop still.
But yeah, I
Um,
was excited to hear about that. So that's cool.
all right.
You guys caught that Giannis Chris Paul beef?
Honestly,
I
I
did
didn't.
not.
I was gonna say I like caught it, but like not in full. So you're definitely gonna have to explain like the fullness to me. I saw like it in bits and pieces.
Yeah, I definitely saw it in bits and pieces too, but I think I saw all the bits and pieces, if that
Okay.
makes sense. So I'm gonna try and piece it together based off of memory. So first, just for context, it's the fourth quarter. There's less than half of the quarter left. The Spurs are up by 10 to 20, something like that. Like they're gonna win, basically, unless the Bucks do something absolutely insane. Giannis gets fouled. It's really hard to see the foul. It was really the replay that you really kind of see why Giannis was so upset, which whether it was intentional or not, to me it kind of looked intentional, but I'm also a Bucks fan. Um, it really looked like Chris Paul stuck his foot out and then pushed Giannis over his foot. At the very least, the truth is that Giannis tripped over Chris Paul's foot. So he received a common foul. Giannis got heated. They reviewed it. It got reinstated a common foul, so it was a common foul. But Giannis got really mad because he felt like he could have been injured. he got up and started going at Chris Paul, like he was gonna fight him, like he wanted to actually fight. And Chris Paul was like, "You're not like that, dude." And Giannis is like, "Come see me after the game. Come see me." And Chris Paul's like, "Nah, bro, you're not like that. Like fuck this dude." Um, and he was just like pissed about it. Obviously, everyone's like pushing each other around, common NBA scruffle. At the end of the game, Giannis goes to half court and is standing there waiting for Chris Paul to come up to him. And Chris Paul's kind of standing back like, "Bro, like, what are you doing? Like, you're looking like a fool right now." Like, because Chris Paul had told him that he's not going to fight him after the game. So Giannis is standing there like, "I'm right here, bro. Come on, I'm right here." And
Basketball,
Chris Paul's
Melo.
just like literally like, which I kind of get. I can relate to Chris Paul on that. Like, for real, dude, like, I mean, what Chris Paul didn't say, but what I'm thinking is, first of all, you're like a foot taller than me. So you really want to fight? Like, that's a super unfair advantage. That's just like standard. Second of all, we're on like television right now. I don't know if you know that. And we
Yeah.
can't just play it in the NBA arena. But yeah, Giannis basically spoke after the game, and he was like, "People think I'm soft, but once you push me or once you try me, you see that different side of me." Like he's the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why anybody would try and mess with Giannis.
Time.
It definitely makes sense why CP instantly backed off if that's what he did, and that's if he like actually did trip Giannis and it was kind of an intentional thing. No wonder he kind of backed off of him instantly because, I mean, if Giannis is gonna pull up with smoke, you better back off. I mean, he got the reach, he got the size, he got the weight, he got every. I mean, he's got
That's
CP.
kind of Doc Rivers kind of said that too. He was like, Giannis is honestly one of the most level-headed people in the league. So if you get this kind of reaction out of him, then it's probably not for no reason.
Right.
Yeah.
And I also, like I said, I don't know if it was intentional, but I know that Chris Paul has only been in the finals one time, and Giannis scored a 50 piece on him.
I've heard things about people saying that Chris Paul is dirty. Well, they don't frame it as he's dirty because you don't want to outright talk about a legend, but they say Chris Paul will do whatever he needs to do to get a win. And I'm not saying he's wrong. I was just
a guy in the league. You got it. Honestly,
CP
I'm
definitely
just
a little
putting it out
dirty.
they was like Chris Paul to do whatever he got to do to win a game, and it's like he's not wrong for that, but it's wrong. It's wrong when you put players, and I'm not faulting them. Like it is what it is, but it's just like I can't control a grown man, but it's just like the idea of like risking other people's lives is crazy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Like that's a moneymaker. Like that's crazy. Like basketball not that serious.
Risking their whole career, yeah.
You're willing to take somebody's career away. Like only way I'm doing that is if it's game 7. If it's game 7, fuck your career.
Damn. You hilarious for that. He said if it's game 7,
thinking about that Bucks Nets series, and he's like, "Yeah, if it were game 7 in that Bucks Nets series, I'd hurt Giannis."
Game 7, you gotta do what you gotta do.
He said I'd repaint the lines so KD's foot didn't touch.
Type shit. we would have been in there so quick editing that picture, moving his foot back. We would have cut off his toes, made it look so nice. Oh God.
He would have been wearing a size 2 shoe in that pic.
His foot would have been size 10 and a size 14.
I was like kind of torn on it too, because I was like, on one hand, I'm upset because I love Chris Paul and I love Giannis and I don't want them to be beefing. But on the other hand, I'm like, on a weekly basis, I ask for better rivalries in the NBA. So like, is this not what I want?
Yeah.
I do love Giannis for that because Giannis does know how to beef, bro. He's a guy that knows how to beef, and I like that about him.
Yeah, I mean, just recently he had that little bit of like a not like scuffle, but like back and forth with Harden too when they were playing during Rivals Week. So
right.
I mean, yeah,
and that's a rivalry that goes back to like when Harden was winning MVP.
So I mean, if anybody knows how to beef a little bit in this common era, it's Giannis for sure.
It's Giannis and Russell Westbrook.
Yep. And KD, let's be honest, KD know how to make a rivalry happen.
Yeah, KD too.
KD got
Anthony Edwards getting there. He getting there.
Yeah, that Timberwolves Sun rivalry was like half born. It kind of died because of the trade, but I loved it.
There will be a team in the future that really don't like Ant because of his antics and whatnot, and that'll turn into some sort of a rivalry. He'll tickle a fan base the wrong way, and it won't go well.
I see him and LaMelo having a good rivalry. If
I
like
was thinking,
LaMelo, like if he grow up a little bit, like given his style of play, I could see them being some good basketball. Maybe even Cade Cunningham. But I have never seen. I don't
Ooh.
stop
it was a good one.
Cade Cunningham
Those
and
2 days.
yeah, I don't see. I never seen Cade and Ant play, so I don't know what their styles look like on the court together. But I've seen Ant and LaMelo play, and I can see them having some good battles as
Oh, yeah.
leaders of it. Some dumb shots to get pulled, but when they make
Oh
them,
my
it's gonna
gosh,
be
some dummy shots. But that would be an amazing
So
matchup. That'd make it even more highlight.
kind of spinning onto the Bucks more. You were saying you wanted to talk about the Bucks games. I'll be honest, I haven't been watching the past couple Bucks games. They haven't been doing very well this past couple weeks. I washed all my laundry, all my jerseys and everything. These are all clean. Didn't work. So I don't
Didn't
know
do
what to
nothing.
do now. But yeah, they've been taking L's. Like we said, they lost to the Spurs. Pretty bad, honestly. You said they lost to the Grizzlies. I think they lost to the
Yeah, that's the
Trailblazers
one that I
recently.
was gonna touch on a
The
little bit. The one,
Trailblazers beat the Bucks. I was pissed.
yeah, the Grizzlies game where the all-star that we were talking about that has kind of formulated his game into just being an absolute tank of a unit. Just Jaren Jackson going off for 37 in that game against the Bucks, like, and that's a game that you know that he's being guarded by Giannis most of the night because Giannis has been taking that like one-on-one matchup as of these last couple of years. He hasn't really been just a help defender anymore, especially because Brook is so slow that he has to take that main priority defensive role on the team. So seeing Jaren Jackson go off for 37, I mean, Giannis did great too. He went off for 30, 11, and 7 as well. So, I mean, Giannis did normal Giannis things. I mean, you can kind of expect that every night from Giannis. But to see Jaren Jackson really go out there and do that against another former Defensive Player of the Year guy when, like you were saying, Twono, like a lot of people were saying, you know what I mean? It's a little bit of a one-trick pony, kind of getting bullied into, oh, you're just a Defensive Player of the Year, you're just a defensive guy, this, that, and the other. He came out and showed a bit differently on this night yesterday, and that's pretty dope, especially seeing Desmond Bane doing Desmond Bane things right next to him with 22 points, and Santi Aldama. Speaking of which, he's been having sneakily one of the most underrated seasons for the Grizzlies. He's like one of those glue guys that if they make a deep push, expect a random Santi Aldama game where he goes off for like 35 and he's the leading scorer, and everybody's like, and everybody now knows about who Santi Aldama is, but
like an Austin Reeves story.
right, exactly. Like Austin Reeves just has some random big game in the playoffs one game or one big playoff series, and now literally everybody and their mama knows who Austin
$70
Reeves
million.
is. Right. So definitely expect something like that from him because that's kind of how Desmond Bane even got his name to be such a big like number 2 random role player. But yeah, very good. Zach Edey with a double-double, 14 and 11. He's been formulating his game to the NBA a lot better as time progresses. You see, he's definitely still very slow and clunky, but he picks his spots a lot better. He runs the PNR a lot better. He kind of runs the floor a lot better. You can tell he's getting into that conditioning because college is just such a different sport. Like truly, like it's the same game, but it really feels like a different sport. Just the way it's set up and the rules and this, that, and the other. So just wanted to touch on that game. Sorry to bust on your Bucks real quick, but the Grizzlies
But here's
just
the thing.
playing so good and Jaren Jackson playing so good against Giannis. I had to touch on that. I mean, come on now.
Here's the thing about the Bucks and Giannis too, and I gotta say nobody does this to Jokic and the Nuggets ever. So I mentioned the Bucks have been having a rough couple games. You're talking about last night. Guess what I just saw on Twitter while I was ignoring you? Is that the Warriors want Giannis.
Nice.
Bro, come on. The Warriors aren't getting Giannis. And if they do, I'm sorry that I was super wrong. But here's the thing.
He said, while
Every
I was
single
ignoring
time
you.
the Bucks lose a couple games in a row, Giannis is going to the Mavericks. Giannis is going to the Heat. Giannis is going to the Lakers. And bro, it's like chill out on my dude, man. He's just having a bad week. It's been 3 games. What? Well, but anyways.
That's all I wanted to talk about with that game. Glad I got that out of you.
I saw this on Twitter while I was ignoring you.
But
That was crazy.
Speaking of the Warriors, though, the Warriors played a big game against the Thunder, best team in the West, and they beat them despite SGA putting up 52 points.
Yeah.
And yeah, that
And
was cool.
Jalen
That's his
Williams
first
almost
50, that's
having
his
30.
career high. That is his first 50-point game. So that was exciting. Just because he's at that point where like I remember thinking earlier in the season when I heard he didn't have 50 point, that it's like, dang, he's probably gonna get one this year. He's at that point now where he's gonna get his career high this year for sure. And he did already. So
Yeah, and on a game when, like you said, when Shai's scoring 52 and Jalen Williams is scoring 26, you definitely don't expect the Warriors to come out and kind of burst that bubble and be like, hey, peace out to your career high. Like, we really couldn't care less. We got the dub still. Crazy. Just all credit to the coaching staff on that game, honestly, because it wasn't really like a one guy game that game. I mean, you see Andrew Wiggins with 27, Gary Payton with 15, Steph Curry with 21. We got even Kevon Looney chipping in, quite honestly, with 18 points. B Pods with 11, and then you got Dennis Schroeder with 9 points, almost in double digits. So just a really good team effort there, and yeah, just all credit to the coaching staff on that one, because that's kind of what this Warriors team has turned into. It's really not the Steph lead the show anymore. They really are a very team oriented team, because I think Steph has realized that he's just not 28-year-old Steph anymore. I mean, that's just what it is. He's an older guy now. I mean, he needs to rely on those teammates more now. So it's what it's turned into a bit more. Yeah, it's tough.
but no. But yeah, I thought that was cool. I also thought we should talk about Anthony Davis's last game as a Laker because that was cool. I mean, he didn't know, nobody knew, obviously, that it was going to be his last game as a Laker.
Hey, they
And
won though, and he got 42.
yeah, and I think he got 23 boards, 22
Yep,
boards.
23 boards and 2 assists.
Yeah,
That's
so
why Nico made that move.
yeah,
He said,
If
y'all
I'm
really
Nico,
want AD, right? He said, look it. He just got 40, 20. Who does
bro thought
that?
that was a good move. He said 40 and 23. Oh yeah, I'm making that trade for
Yeah.
sure.
if the Mavs go out there and win the championship this year, we're all going to have to eat our words.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Like, this is getting clipped up and thrown, like, everywhere.
Yeah, just blur my face out.
Nah. It'd be just your face, just the bottom.
That that would be unfortunate.
Yeah, was there any other games or any, like, topics from this last week y'all wanted to touch on basketball-wise before we kind of just transition into talking about whatever?
Honestly, no.
Yeah,
I
not
mean,
really.
there were a lot
I'm
of
down to.
games. Not a lot of them were super interesting. We're probably not talking about an interesting one that like none of us happened to notice or something. Because
So, I guess moving off the basketball then, we kind of touched on this a little earlier. I want to hear score predictions for the Super Bowl. I need to hear the prediction for
Score
the Super.
predictions.
I need to hear a score prediction and a
Score
winner.
prediction. Crazy. I can't give you a score prediction just because I'm thinking 31-37. I felt it in my spirit. That's just what I'm gonna say.
So
And I'm
higher
going Eagles.
scoring.
31-37 Eagles. That's where I'm going.
Ooh.
no, I'm going 24-27. I don't think it's going to be that close though. I don't know. Maybe like 21-27.
I'm gonna say like 17-28, and the Chiefs are gonna take it. I want the Eagles to win, but
17 to
So you from
28.
the future?
That one. I think it'll be closer than that. But I don't know. I don't know about football, bro.
That man's a time traveler.
the way I said that shit.
You said it so confident.
28-17.
He
28-17
knows.
Chiefs,
He
mark
knows
it.
something.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna write these
I
down.
gotta,
Talk
I
about
gotta do the math on that. I gotta see what that added up to.
Oh, dude,
So
I
I'm
mean, these
watching you.
predictions will be on YouTube, so you ain't even gotta write it down.
I just want to know, so we can reference it next
45.
time.
What does the number 45 signify to you?
What?
From our
45?
It equals 45.
What equals 45? Oh, 2-3 like
No,
4-5?
I said no. I
Or
said
2-3
no.
came
I
back with
said
4-5?
no. I was talking. It was a joke. It's dead, and now it's
Okay,
documented
okay,
on
my fault, my fault.
the.
Right over my head.
I want. I wanted to
What
talk
equals
about
45?
nothing, bro. It was a joke, but it went over both of y'all head. Y'all wasn't keeping up, and I don't want to go
I
back
think
too
I'm
far.
10
understanding
times
now.
5.
I think I'm understanding now.
No, no. When he said 17 and 28, I was like, I'm gonna add those numbers up because that's what conspiracy theorists be doing. They be like, oh, all these numbers add up equals 666. That's the devil's number. So I added 17 to 28, and it was 45. And I was like, what does 45 mean to you, Cole? And then you was like, what? And then it just went down this whole path.
Oh, okay, I see.
But Kendrick Lamar won
I
five Grammys
definitely missed
on
that
one
because I
song.
was like,
K. Dot won 5 of them bitches.
5 Grammys off one song.
all 5. All 5.
Yeah, that's crazy. They say bring out the brooms.
For real.
That
Had
was
the
tough.
had the whole crowd of celebrities saying A minor.
Like, dang, I haven't smiled that hard for another man in
That
years.
was crazy work, bro.
Like, I was cheesing on the couch. Like, dang, like I'm clapping. Like, I
For
haven't done
real.
that since I was a
He
kid.
was
So
so
that
yeah.
it felt great. It felt great to like celebrate
It
that.
was really exciting. I didn't think anybody else had a chance, honestly, but it was cool for like, because the Grammys are sometimes super off about stuff. It was
Yeah.
cool to see them give them all 5, bro.
I
See,
thought they was gonna go. I thought they was gonna go Texas Hold'em that last
I
time.
was about to say, did you see Beyonce won Best Country Album of the Year?
I did see that, bro.
That's
I thought that was
crazy.
cool. She
And
That's
didn't
Best
pretty
go to
dope.
Album.
the country awards, but she won the Grammy for best country album.
Yeah,
And she won Best Album too.
And
of
that
course.
Doechii album.
Yeah, Doechii won too.
Yeah,
Best rap album.
some people were mad because they were like, she won over Eminem and J. Cole, and I was like, yeah, but her album was just better than those albums.
Yeah, really.
Those
I
guys,
didn't, I didn't listen to it, but I knew
this wasn't
Mike
their
Delete
best.
Later wasn't. I don't think Mike Delete Later was Grammy worthy. It was great, but I don't think it was like win a
It was
Grammy.
like it was like nice to have a J. Cole album, but yeah,
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 like he could do way better. Like this was on literally says Mike Delete Later. Like the nigga damn near really considered deleting that shit later.
yeah.
Just a little snippet shit. So it's like like
yeah.
he wasn't trying
Some
that
corny
hard. That was some
16-year-old
cool.
girl selfie shit. You ain't gonna put that on the Grammys.
Literally. Some shit you say hashtag might delete later, but
Literally.
you go on her page, it's still on there from 2015. I thought you was gonna delete. Like, I thought you was gonna delete this later.
It's a
Bro,
little
later
bit
could be
later.
any time.
Type shit.
Type shit.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good.
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon is gonna win Super Bowl MVP if the Eagles win it. That's no doubt. I'll tell you that much.
Unless somebody shows up and shows out. He is most likely to win it. But Super Bowl will be unlikely.
Yeah, they
You
be
get
giving it to
niggas,
like some random. It'll be some defensive player.
you know what I'm saying? Somebody might get some interceptions. But if they probably don't need interceptions to beat the Chiefs, realistically.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need some good defensive plays to stop that offense. I mean, Andy Reid, like we were talking about earlier, is just he's a different
So
monster.
yeah. Like a man's got a defensive mind and offensive mind.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he got good head coaches and defensive coordinators around him.
Yeah, it's going to be scary hours for the Eagles, but I mean, they seem really prepped this year. Like they seem really ready. The Eagles feel like this is their best shot in recent history.
But yeah, this is their best shot for sure.
Like they're
Like
so
given what
crazy.
Saquon can do, and they can get the pass game going too.
Yeah, dude. Like
Hopefully, they use that and that tush push. Like
that
man,
shit. They
that
got the
shit.
cheat code.
Yeah,
They got the cheat code with that shit. Plus, like, yeah, both defenses aren't like top of the league defenses, but they're good enough defenses where like they can make stops and shit. So
yeah.
I think no matter what, it's gonna be a great game. Like they're two amazing teams. Like there's no way this isn't a great game.
This ain't Texas.
Ain't no hold on.
Nah, she went crazy on that though. I
No,
thought
yeah,
she was
for real.
going.
Yeah, I saw the tweet this morning that she won the best album of the year or best country album of the year, and I was looking at it and I was like, no way. And the quote was like, she was just sitting there speechless or something. She said that she like didn't expect to win it or whatever, and she had no idea what to say. I was like, that's exactly how I felt.
You was nominated.
I was
The
like,
fucking
girl,
mean,
you are fucking Beyonce. You know you about to win
literally.
album of the year every fucking year you drop an album.
I thought she was going to win song of the year.
Fucking mean.
Shit. I thought she was going to win song of the year.
I don't think she ever won album
Yeah,
of the year.
she never. Yeah, I guess that is true.
But just a
Which is
Grammy in
crazy.
general. She's
Won
definitely
album.
Which is
won millions
crazy.
of Grammys, right?
Yeah, she has. She just never won album of the year
Right.
specifically.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because like I feel like she doesn't have some good albums, but I would have to go see which albums beat hers out if she was nominated because that had to be some
Yeah,
shit.
because you
If
gotta think
Beyonce,
Lemonade deserved that shit. Easy peasy.
that's what I'm saying.
Like there had
I
to be
think it-
something that was like crazy the year of Lemonade because Lemonade
I'm
was
gonna
fucking
say-
I think
crazy.
it was just anti-Beyonce, honestly.
That could be it. There is a huge like part of culture that's very anti Beyonce and Jay-Z.
But yeah, I was pumped. I mean, your first rap album of the year and it's the country album.
Right.
She got 99 nominations and 35 wins.
That's nuts.
That's nuts. I wonder who has the most. Probably MJ, right? MJ's got to have the most nominations.
No, I think it's Drake.
Oh, okay. At this point, I guess.
Beyonce's like LeBron going to the finals 10 times, but only taking back 4.
For real. That's what'll happen to you.
Truly will. I love when people bring up the 4
Oh
and 10.
no, Beyonce got the most Grammys. I think Drake probably got the most plaques. That's probably what I was looking for.
Right, or he's got like the most streams. I know he's got the most streams because he says that he's like streamed more than the Beatles or whatever the fuck.
You know, he paid.
Yeah.
Extra, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
I remember when I found out Justin Bieber did that. I was like, dang, he's not even number 1. He's fine.
he was also just asking people to fall asleep to his song, so
Yeah.
he was kind of cheating the system.
He really did cheat the system.
He was like, just listen to my shit on repeat and fall asleep. Who won? Are you finding anything?
She got let's see which one.
Was there anything
No.
else that you wanted to kind of talk about, though, Michael?
I'll just be chilling, you know. We've been on Marvels a lot.
Oh my God, Marvels has been so fun. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Good little time since we're in the after part of the show, and if anybody's watching, they actually give a shit about us enough. Definitely go check out all of our socials at King Cole, at Old King Cole 3 for me on everything, at Michael Buckets for this guy over here for everything. And then, what's your shit? Plug yourself.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at IamCFN You can find me on Facebook at CFN and you can find me on Twitter at I don't know yet.
There it is.
It'll be in the link.
I was like, yeah, I'll throw it up. Yeah.
You don't know your Twitter off the top of the head?
Nah, I made it a while ago. It might. Well, I'm blanking because I think it's my old one, but I also it's official.
Stuff.
My Twitter
I
is
just
official
changed
Twono.
everything to Michael
At
Buckets.
official Twono.
Official Twono.
There it is.
Follow me on Twitter.
Exactly.
Got 46 followers. I'm lit.
Super lit.
I'm so weird on Twitter. Like I'll go like weeks without being on Twitter.
Dude, I was gonna say you low-key need a burner.
I go on a 2-day
Adele.
stretch. I thought about that. I was like, dang, bro, I low-key need another account to just be doing all
Cause
this
like
talking.
you shared that one thing of that dad thing, and I love it. I love it to death. I agree with you, but man, that's some burner activity.
Yeah.
That's murder activity right there.
Yeah, for
Like, I
sure.
agree
I
with
thought
you.
about that. I was like, dang, I really need a real Twitter because I normally don't be on social. So when I first switched over to all like the Bike a Bucket stuff, I was like, this will be perfect because it'll keep me off of social unless it's like kind of like creator content, which it has for the most part. But I still love Twitter. So now I'll be on Twitter.
What the hell?
We'll
Adele
see.
stole it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say Adele won it with her 25 album
Does she just name albums however old she is?
Yeah.
Huh.
type shit.
Okay.
Lacks creativity, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool.
I guess she used all the
Made
creativity
your
on
yeah, made your whole entire life of dropping albums so easy.
Yeah.
25.
And the fan base, I'm sure, loves it too. I'm sure they eat it up. They're like, "Oh my god, 36? No way."
Guess what? I'm gonna ask that woman how old she is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the
What?
thing too, is she can't even like lie about her age later in life because it's like, wait, but when I was in high school, you were 21.
Exactly. When I was in high school, you dropped 25. So, well, I was a freshman when she dropped 25. So,
Di-
and all I gotta do is basic math. After that, in 2016, she was 25, and it is 2025.
You were a freshman. What year?
2016.
To 2017.
Yeah.
Dang, I was a senior that year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that lines up because you know, was
I
born in
never
your
actually
birth
thought
year.
about what ages we were if we would have went to the same high school though.
yeah, I was a junior.
Yeah, bro, that was our best year. We would have been chilling. You would have been fresh. You would have replaced the freshmen that we hung out with that year.
Oh my god, yeah,
Me and
you would have
Cole
been the
probably would have
homie.
been. We probably would have been able to be cool homies because you would have been a junior and then a senior, and then like sophomore years when I really start tapping. Freshman year, I was a bad boy. I was looking for a fight. But then, so we would have been cool based off being cool, like not in the fighting way. But we would have been
Bro,
cool.
that year
If
though,
you were a cool guy, I was gonna be a cool guy. But like in the other guys, I was looking for a fight. So we probably would have been decently cool freshman year, and then your senior year, we probably would have been like, "What's that word, my boy? How you coming?"
bro,
And then
like,
Mike
but
would
when
have just been
that
your
year
man.
when you were a
Oh,
freshman though, like Cole was a junior, so we're both upperclassmen. That's when like we just adopted a bunch of freshmen.
Yeah, we were low key
Like we like
just
picked
like
a couple
running that
freshmen that
shit.
we really thought like had potential to be the next version of us in the high school.
yeah.
So we just kind of like mentored them to live like us, basically.
Didn't work out well for him.
That's a very
They
that's
turned
a
out way worse than us,
It
bro.
turned out bad.
y'all ego was crazy. That's a crazy ego to be like, we're gonna make them the new us. Like,
Yeah.
I can tell y'all thought y'all was the shit in high school.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
dude, are you kidding me?
I thought y'all was all that in a
yeah.
bag of chips. That's hilarious.
We
That's
was. What do
funny.
you mean?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I had that like my last year of like high school during COVID. I told myself I was like, bro, I had this one homie who kind of got bullied a little bit. I was like, I'm gonna take him under my wing this year. Nobody will mess with him. He gonna be my boy. We gonna do this. And it's like, who am I planning that? Like I'm gonna take over the world. I was taking over the school though, because my homie who was a year ahead of me, he was like running the school. So after he was gone, it was like I was his, I was his right hand
That's
man.
what it is,
So
then.
now it's coming down. Like I'm the extension of him now. Everybody remember, like damn, when we saw bro, we saw you, and then all the other dudes was my homie. So it's like we all alive, but I was gonna be,
Yep.
top dog. But the world had other plans for me.
Had
COVID
different
and all.
plans for all of us, I guess.
Yeah.
Because we definitely didn't run our school either.
Bro.
Have you guys seen
They
that
abused.
the Paul brothers are gonna fight?
No, they're actually starting a reality TV show.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're not fighting.
No, they just did that as propaganda. Somebody came and debunked it. I saw it the other day. Like after it, they was like, they are not in fact fighting. They're
Why
releasing a
didn't they fight,
reality
bro?
TV show.
That's awesome.
I'd fight one of you for the amount of money that would make.
Guys.
I mean, yeah, that's why they're doing it though.
So
Exactly.
I guess it's the crazy idea of
Hey,
like who's
guys,
gonna lose
fight.
that. Because I wouldn't
But
want to lose.
anyways, I'm on Legion Hoops. Do you guys know about Legion Hoops?
Yeah, I know about it. It's just like another one of those random websites.
Yeah, they said the Warriors have checked in on every All-Star,
That's hilarious. I'll be right
every
back though.
single one. Um, but yeah, I specifically saw Paul George. Also, Kevin Durant. The Suns are fielding trade calls for Kevin Durant per Jake Fisher.
For Jake Fisher.
Yeah, he's a NBA insider.
Oh,
Bleacher Report.
yeah.
Um,
I thought you were saying they was trading him. They was finna trade him for Jake Fisher. Like, I've never heard of him.
oh no. Oh yeah, I said per, not for.
Uh,
Yeah, the Warriors checked in with Paul George.
like what you mean checked in about him like coming to play for them?
I don't know. I think so, but it just says the Warriors checked in. Well,
Oh
this says
yeah,
they checked in with the 76ers about trading for Paul George. Poor Shams. Um, and then the other one says also Shams. The Warriors have reportedly checked in with every All-Star player in the league.
that's crazy. It was
Also,
like
there's a bunch of stuff about coming out more about how Luka actually reacted, um, which is nothing less than what I would expect. It says he was in tears when he found out.
Oof.
yeah, I would be too.
Yeah, I mean he's
I
been there
mean,
his whole career.
and I think he felt really hurt that he was tradable. Like he felt untouchable. To find out that they would actually trade him, he was like offended.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Nico Harrison low-key just fucked up. Like it's a good thing for the league. It's cool. It's cute. But realistically, that man just fucked up.
Oh yeah,
That's a
bad.
that's a fuck up, bro. Like that's realistically a fuck up. That was not building your team for the best interest. Anybody else was tradable on that team except for him, bro. That was the only untouchable I saw, truthfully.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
no
Like,
real.
doubt.
It
like
also
Kyrie has
says,
already been traded before, so it's like Kyrie is tradable. But like Luca, like nigga, y'all just went to the finals because of this young man. You fucked up, my boy. I don't want nobody in his ear to be like, yeah, we just fucking did that. We executed that shit. No, you did not.
No.
You just you got back a good player, but
bro.
you didn't get back your worth.
It also sounds like it was kind of how I said, where like Rob Pelinka kind of convinced him to do it because it says originally the trade included multiple firsts and Dalton Connect, which is pretty good package.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Yeah,
Luca worthy, but still that's a good package.
Right.
yeah,
But
that's solid.
kind of whittled down, and Rob was able to convince the Mavs that Luca is a lot of risk because of his drinking and his weight problem. So it was the Lakers GM that brought that up and was like, "This guy's kind of a liability," and the Mavs went with it. That's rough.
Yeah, Luca do love him a beer. That's probably why Michael Finley took his beer from him.
Um,
Luca looked so offended when he came and took that out of his hand. I felt bad for Luca.
All right. That feels
yeah, I'm
like
about ready to wrap up.
yeah.
Eat some.
Sounds good. Alrighty. That was the what is this? Episode 3, I believe. Episode
Yeah.
3 of the Ball Talk podcast. I am so happy that we got to have the boy Twono on the podcast this time. There he is, back at it. And we got to have him on it. Hopefully he'll be in full time in it. Obviously it'll be a bit here and there sometimes, but we'll be getting the good schedule going and he'll be
Yes,
in it.
sir.
And yeah, so I'm super hyped for that. If you guys made it this far, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Make your mama watch this, make your grandpapa watch this, make everybody watch this because we're trying
Make
to
your
go
dog
global.
watch
Make your
this.
dog a YouTube channel and make him watch it and like it because we're trying to go global with this. We're trying to bring it everywhere, teach everybody the game, and just make a good old community of people with ball talk. So, love you guys so much, and we will see you guys all next week.